Welcome, everybody, to another week, another podcast. This is a monumental moment. This is episode 50 of Game Set Live. Has it already almost been a year? Jeez, that is cray. Anyway,
Yes,
we have a guest lined up tonight, but he's currently right now fulfilling a role on another show. So he will be here when he gets here. No worries. Nobody in the chat. Nobody loves Game Set Live. That's pitiful. You know what? I don't care. We get 3 times the views after the fact, so either way,
yeah, I'm happy with that.
doesn't
I'm happy with that.
doesn't bother me. Yeah, Thember is sick. Thember will not be with us tonight, so me and the panelists will have to keep them straight ourselves.
Man, it's RoboCop usually, man. Wow, I'm surprised.
You're telling me that
You're well timbered.
we need to be our own chats?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
I mean-
start commenting bullshit.
oh,
about
Palpatine in the chat. Whoop whoop. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, anyway, we have got 2 great showcases to get into tonight. We got some Twitter banter to get into. So I'm just going to start it off, go down the line. Fabio Amarim, sir, how have you
Yo.
been? What have you been playing?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me. What I've been playing? I've been playing Halo Infinite because, yeah, Season 3, loving it. Redfall, and I just started as well Atomic Heart. I just decided to give up just a little bit so far on the first boss because it's hard as hell. Don't know why, but yeah, I'm quite interested in what's going on with the story. And honestly, let's be honest, they couldn't be more fans of BioShock Infinite in that game. Let's be honest. But yeah, so far so good. Really enjoying it.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Mayhem Games, sir. How have you been, and what have you been playing, and who have you been attacking on Twitter?
I actually haven't. I've been at work doing a lot of training, so I haven't had a chance to play too much. I played some stuff with my son. But other than that, I haven't really dove into anything. Hoping that I can get some later on this weekend. So other than that, man, I haven't really done too much. I think I am just kind of chipping away at Ragnarok and doing a few things on Destiny because a new season dropped. So, new season dropped, I think, Tuesday. So just kind of getting started on that. So other than that, man, just my normal stuff.
Awesome. Yep, I hear you. You gotta do what you gotta do, brother. Sometimes you just don't get to the gaming. That's all right, though. It's gonna be there when you're ready.
Gotta feed the kids.
Yep. Mr. Bushido, the professional, sir. How have you been? What have you been playing?
Not too bad, Bobby. Not too bad. I've been playing Octopath 2 on the PS5, and I'm enjoying it. And a little bit of Planet Lana. Planet of Lana. And that's about it. Yeah, I haven't been doing a lot. After I beat Survivor, it's hard to play something.
I would like just to make a little question. Since when does Bushido has the title The Professional?
Always have.
Always.
Yeah. It's just never been on the marquee. Yeah.
I mean, this is the 50, like this is episode 50, and I mean,
Well, as a professional, I like to try to play it humble. And
am I going to see the professionalism in the 1,000 episodes or something like that?
man, you're really trying to make me look bad, aren't you? Huh?
Ah, not
Okay.
at all. I'm just trying to make you look at the way you are. None of us are professionals here.
All right.
Nope.
All right, come on. We ain't even made it through intros. We're already arguing. I know this is going to be a great episode because there's a lot of yeah.
Banter.
Mr. Noof Nukem, boom boom kaboom, baby. How you been? What you been playing?
Noof.
Noof dog. Noof.
Noofy noof.
Earth to Noof. Noof, you there, man? Come on, Noof.
Yeah, boom, boom, kaboom, baby. Sorry, I had the mic on mute here, but yeah, I've been. Oh shit! What about last week or so? I haven't been playing a whole lot, to be quite honest with you. Well, I did finish. What did I say? I finished Ravenlock. Started another playthrough of Days Gone, and geez, what else did I? Started a few other things, but anyway, it's kind of all been a blur because I just haven't really been gaming a whole lot the last week and a half or so. So looking forward to getting some time to get back into it, but. Needless to say, I'm excited for the show. I mean, obviously, outside of ABK bullshit, which I'm so tired of, but it's nice that finally we get some games to talk about with the Sony Showcase, and I'm sure we'll be diving into that momentarily.
That acronym will not come out of my mouth tonight. The one that starts with an A, it will not come out of my mouth. I promise you. I don't want to talk about as much.
Amorim?
Yeah, there you go, Amorim. It will not come up. Yep. All right, big shout out to those in the chat. Palpatine rolling through. Laura Hinkle, nice to see you again. Toolman55, Red Wolf in the chat. That's right, Mr. Renegade. All right. Yeah, tell a buddy or two. Hit that like button, and let's get into the topics. You may or may not know that there was a game showcase yesterday that would have been on, what was that? May the 24th. Almost like they were trying to get out in front of all the other platforms. Anyway, there was a Sony showcase yesterday evening. Sony Showcase 2023, and it has split the gaming community. Some people, I've seen feeds that say it was underwhelming. This was supposed to knock everyone's socks off, and it was, other than the things that we already knew we were going to see, a bunch of third-party stuff, and I'm just going to be quiet and let everybody duke it out, because today our private chat was just, that's what was happening, with some duking. But no, seriously. As professionals, Mr. Fabio Amorim, sir, honest take on the show, and then we're going to move to your greatest proponent on the subject, Mr. Mayhem.
Oh, basically, what can I say about the PlayStation Showcase? Honestly, it was good. It wasn't amazing, not at all, but it was good because there were a ton of games where I saw that I could play on my Xbox that caught my attention. Some games I really enjoyed, some games I just didn't care. For some reason, some of the games that I didn't care are exclusive to PlayStation, and we are going to be. I think we are going to be talking about each one of the games, and the one that I just didn't give a damn was the soap one. Splatoon clone, honestly.
There were 34 games shown.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it was a nice showcase. It wasn't something that was amazing at all. But considering what everyone was talking about, considering how everyone was certain that this showcase was going to be amazing just because it's from PlayStation, and considering the time that people have waited for the PlayStation Showcase, I think it was almost 2 years, or am I wrong in that? Like, it was mid. I'm sorry to say, it was mid. It was good, but I mean, it could have been just a state of play, in my opinion. I think that, like, in my opinion, hopefully they will make a second showcase with something much better, but what we saw in that was mostly a state of play.
Mr. Have you seen those commercials, Fabio, where those insurance commercials where Mr. Mayhem just comes out of nowhere and fucks you up? Yeah. Mayhem Games, sir. I know Sony's near and dear to your heart. What'd you think? And was it mid?
Okay, so there's two things that I want to say before I even get to my opinion. Okay, number one, everybody that was out hyping this game or this showcase rather had absolutely no inside knowledge about what was actually going to be shown. Right? This was all just conjecture on Twitter of people that were, Sony elitists saying that because it's been a long time for a showcase, that this needed to be A, B, C, and D, right? Meanwhile, Jim Ryan already told everybody months ago what this showcase was going to be. What was his focus? His focus was games as a service, right? And focusing on mobile and all the things that we saw in that showcase, right? So anybody that was surprised by the content of said showcase, I mean, all the things were pointed out. Secondly, in my opinion, okay, I'll pose a question to the panel. What are the things that Sony has been missing in their game portfolio? Bob, I'll give it to you. What have they been missing? What would you say that they haven't been doing? They haven't been doing a whole lot of
Shooters. I want to see a shooter from Sony.
Yeah, multiplayer games. Yeah.
shooters, co-op games. Correct?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that we've seen a pretty fair amount of single-player, third-person action games out of Sony?
Yes.
That's the only thing we saw from them.
Exactly. So whenever Sony comes out with a third-person action adventure game, it's more of the same. But when Sony comes out with a games as a service or a co-op shooter, then it's trash. So I'm just trying to understand what exactly we wanted from the showcase. Did we want more third-person action adventure games, or did we want something different? Because I saw something different.
Me and Mayhem about to butt heads. I can't wait.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, what you guys, all I've heard is that all that Sony does is the same thing, right? I see the screenshots. Everybody's holding a bow, and they're comparing, Days Gone to Forbidden West being the same.
Okay.
Well,
Where was the Last of Us factions at?
Yes.
No, that's something that would have probably satisfied some people, but that was nowhere to be found, and that's been in development for how long?
Yeah.
Maybe so, but like I said, I'm not here to say that those games as a service were what people should be interested in. But I can't knock Sony for at least stepping outside of the same thing that they do over and over again, which is the same thing that I've asked Xbox to do, right? Like I want Xbox to put their hat in on third-person action adventure games. I want to see
them same thing, yeah. Can I jump in real quick? Bobby, tag me in. Bobby, tag me in.
Okay, he's making a run for the corner. You're in, Bush.
All right. So look, I am hearing what you're saying. You're making very good points. Mm-hmm. But here's the deal. They made those games, and let's say you did know that was not you, but in general, you knew that was what they were supposed to have in the show. Even so, those games sucked. They did not look interesting. One of them looked horrible. I mean, just horrible. Look, I'm into Splatoon. Splatoon is the shot. The first time I ever saw Splatoon, I was like, oh, that looked like a fun game. Mm-hmm. That foam war thing looked horrible. It looked like it was trying to be Fortnite and a whole bunch of other games in one, and it just looked like a big old miss to me. I'm gonna say it like I said.
Agree. I agree with that.
I'm gonna say it like I've been saying on Twitter. When they decided that they wanted to have gas games, you can't go cheap.
Yeah, gas games. They only have liquid games.
So when you look at it, I'm like, if you're gonna make these games, you gotta have studios with pedigrees, and these studios don't have pedigrees. They went cheap on these studios, hoping they could bank big, but they keep canceling projects from these studios, and they keep giving them other projects right after other. Listen, if they're not gonna do good, they're not gonna do good. The first game, what was that one game, that shooter, that everybody looked like Mandalorians, they had their armor on? That one looked potentially interesting.
Helldivers.
Helldivers?
Helldivers.
That was
Helldivers.
such a great
Yeah,
announcement.
Helldivers. But at the same time, everything else, I was like, I was floored because when I see a PlayStation showcase, I am expecting to see because I didn't hear the whole thing like you said, but I still expected. Even if I did, I would have expected to see a couple of first party games, to see some of the stuff they're working on. Listen, I'll keep saying this too. You don't have to. I'm not the type of gamer you have to show me gameplay. I'm the gamer that likes to see the CGI, and then what I call faux gameplay, where they show you how the game is supposed to play, but it's not the actual footage of the game, but computer generated to show you what it looks like before they drop the game. I like stuff like that because I get an idea, and it gets me hype. I had nothing out of that showcase to get me hype, except for a whole bunch of third party games. I was cool with the third party games; they're really good. But like first party wise, I was very disappointed, especially with the gas games because none of the games look interesting.
So
I was like, man, you got to showcase these better.
I just want to interject here. We know
Yeah.
about the amazing dev studios that Sony has, and
Yes.
with that being said, we did not see Naughty Dog, we did not see Sucker Punch, and we did not see Bend Studio.
Santa Monica as well.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I think most of that was done on purpose. Honestly, I mean, Tom Henderson put out today that he knows for a fact that a lot of these games that he's talking about are almost done. So I mean, I don't think this is like the last thing that you're going to see from Sony. And to further my point, for instance, like we can talk about pedigree, right? But I mean,
Mhm.
I would say Ninja Theory has pedigree, right? That's a pretty
Right.
good studio, correct?
Yes.
And they came out with Bleeding Edge, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that studio and that game shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
That was a games as a service
correct.
that failed,
But
even though
Yeah.
the studio has a heavy pedigree
right.
and good studio.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah.
to, I'm going to say something
So
about that.
we can't base it. We can't base
That's
it
a
on
good
that.
point.
I'm
That's
gonna,
a good point.
but
That's a good point.
I'm gonna give him a rebuttal on that just before I move to Noof, because I really want to get Noof's 2 cents. So my Xbox has already come out and said that they are not going to shut down passion projects, and some passion projects are going to hit, and some aren't. Two that I can think of right now that were massive success that were passion projects: Grounded and Hi-Fi Rush.
And Pentiment.
Pentiment
And
and
listen,
Hi-Fi
guys,
Rush.
before, and I wanted to say this really quick before, and I understand everybody has their own tastes and their own preferences, right? Me personally, I happen to like games as a service. Destiny 1 is my most played game ever. I have like
Jeez.
136 days in that game. So for me, right, that style of game, I enjoy the ongoing, constant updates and the things that go along with games as a service. However, I know it's not for everybody, right? But I want you guys to remember now, you got to think about games that like Grounded. They got so much slander. Game like there was like a games as a service. Sea of Thieves. Look at that game now when it launched to what it is now, and how many people trashed that game, and it was unjustifiably being trashed on, right?
I'll agree.
So you
I'll
gotta-
agree. I'll admit I was one of those people, especially with Grounded. And I eat my words with Grounded. Grounded is freaking fantastic. Sea of Thieves, I
Listen, man, all I'm saying is we yes, it may not have been the best showcase for the games. However, these studios are being directly consulted by Bungie, which as of right now is continuing a success on one of the biggest ongoing games as a service games in Destiny 2. It has 1 million concurrent players on a regular basis. They are that's why they purchased Bungie, is to use them for consultation. And I think, in my opinion, I think they saw a Marathon, and I think they wanted to lock that up as far as revenue, because I'm telling you right now, Marathon is the most viewed video or trailer on YouTube. It has 13 million views on it right now, just in a day.
And it's coming to
Yeah.
So when I tell you that
Oh,
people
okay.
aren't excited for Marathon, then you have to be crazy. It's Bungie and their take on an extraction shooter. That to me was the highlight of the thing, and seeing Cade Six come back in Destiny.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yes, yes,
Noof
yes.
Noof Nukem. I got to get to you because we're getting hung up on just our first impressions here. We haven't even started digging into the wheat and potatoes, brother. Come on. I know you were watching live like I was.
No, I
Um,
didn't get to watch a lot. I got to watch it later in the evening, which was crazy too, because I watched it from the PlayStation YouTube channel, and there was a weird audio thing that I had no idea. Like, it was like you know how they have that music that leads you into the show.
mm-hmm.
So that was
Right.
going on for about an hour, and like when Jim Ryan came on,
what?
he started talking. I couldn't even hear his voice, and that was on the PlayStation YouTube channel. It was like hour and a half in when like the audio actually caught up to sort of like the video syncing. So I don't know what the hell was going on there, but
Right.
it was really cool. I had to go back and watch a lot of shit. I was
That's
like, wow,
wild.
there's no fucking. I was like, there's no game sound from each game. It's just this weird like orchestral shit playing over top. It was a weird. But anyway, look, in a nutshell, I enjoyed the show. I did. I didn't think it was amazing. I think the biggest letdown overall was Sony themselves, much like we've criticized Microsoft, didn't show enough from their studios. You know, like they've also sort of had a bit of a lull. We kind of knew Spider-Man would probably pop up here. I don't think anybody was surprised at that, and that was for me one of my highlights of the show. But just not seeing enough from them. And yeah, I do applaud them for trying to take more steps in multiplayer directions and stuff like that. There's no question that is lacking in their overall portfolio, as Mayhem said. And you got to applaud them for at least trying. I mean, if you don't try, you're never going to succeed. But you know, they are sitting on bona fide IPs from the past that we know very little, if nothing, about that would be instantly successful on name alone. We're talking about things like SOCOM. We're talking about
That's so
bringing back Resistance. So it's not like they don't have. I mean, even Killzone. Killzone was moderately successful up until they sort of kind of missed the boat with that last one. But I don't think that doesn't mean people don't like Killzone. I love the Killzone franchise, and but they need to kind of get. It's like anything when you deviate too much from the original story and the original characters or sort of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where they went. It just started to feel a little bit different than the previous ones. You know, even if that means going back and making Killzone 1 spectacular, like going back and remaking the original game, perhaps with new age graphics and stuff,
Right.
and adding a very solid multiplayer. But regardless,
It's not a bad
the
idea.
showcase was good, and I summed it up with my tweet. I said, "Love Spider-Man." Resident Evil 4 VR mode looked incredible. Phantom Blade was really cool. Alan Wake 2 shaped up nicely, although I'm disappointed to hear that it's not getting a physical release. I think that's kind of stupid, and hopefully they change their minds down the road. And I think one of the surprises for me was Grand Blue Fantasy. So overall, like I said, I thought it was solid. I mean, 30-something games, you can't really complain. Again, it was just that lack of Sony kind of stepping in with things outside of Spider-Man. You know, we're not expecting God of War and shit anytime soon. I mean, you know, that sort of stuff. But they've got other stuff they've had to be working. It's not like they have no studios. So
Mhm.
why wasn't
Agreed.
any
Yeah.
teasers showed off? You know, like they were leaving the third parties to carry the show from them again, and largely pretty successful for the most part. I had to laugh at Fabio because he brought up that one. I was just watching it and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And it was that stupid Foam Wars or whatever the hell that knockoff of
Ah,
Splatoon, and I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm oh my god, they're even like making a knockoff of that game. I'm like, this is crazy. But anyway, that's it in a nutshell. Before we get into the details, I don't want to take up too much time.
like, let me just, I just wanted to make a point here, a small point, and let me know if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense what I'm about to say.
Does
Going
make
back
sense.
to what, thanks Bushido. Like going back to what Mayhem Games said, like people, we were saying that Sony was always doing the same thing, and when they've made something different with games as service, people were saying that is trash. Why is that? Here's the thing: console wars. People are not saying that it's trash. After all, Microsoft has been doing games as service for quite some time now, and they are not going to be changing that. That's a fact. Microsoft's not going to leave the games as a service model behind. They are not. They might do third third person over the shoulder cinematic game here and there, but yeah, their main focus are passion projects from their studios, creative liberty, and games as service. That's a fact.
Yeah, but
No
the
one is
difference
denying that,
is
right?
when
But here's the thing. Why are the Xbox players talking about that it was a shitty showcase? Because for a long time, they were hearing from PlayStation fanboys that Microsoft and Xbox, everything that they show are shit because it's games as service, and they were always bragging about saying that Sony would never do that because that's not what PlayStation
They sure
players
enough did say
want.
that.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing. Why are then Xbox players doing that? Because it's simply console wars and it's payback. I'm not saying
True.
that. I'm not
That is
saying
true.
again when I say that the showcase was me. It's my opinion because it's not something that blow my mind. And even for the games that they show there, but of course it could be amazing. It can be. It can get released in a bad state and it can improve to something great. We got a ton of examples of that, of course. But let's be honest. uh, for what we heard, I know Power Man saw something different, and Mayhem Games saw something different from PlayStation, and he's excited for that. And if anyone else is excited as well, more power to you. Please do not let anyone else spoil or just destroy your expectations or your fun.
yeah,
But
fuck those people.
the PlayStation fans were always bragging about saying that this is not the type of game that PlayStation fans wanted. So, do you guys want it or you don't want it? Like, and that's the thing. It's purely console wars payback.
So
But
I mean,
also,
to be fair, I'm actually a lot easier. I mean, most of my timeline has been a lot of PlayStation centric dudes taking a giant shit on it. Like because most of the
yeah,
time
Yeah,
that is what they want, and they want those single player ties. But me personally, I like the live service games. I enjoy
yes,
them.
of course.
I like those games. So seeing PlayStation do that
It's
for
an
me,
improvement.
not for anybody else, is something that like I enjoy. And like I said, I'm a big Bungie fan, so that hit really hard for me. And I'm a big superhero fan, so Spider-Man hit for me. So yes, there was a couple of dukesters in the middle, but I mean, doesn't every showcase that I've ever watched has the big bangers in the beginning, right? A couple of heavy hitters, then you got your little thing, and then you got your filler, right? Of nonsensical titles, right? And that goes for Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. A bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
And listen, I love indies, and they're cool and everything, but everybody tunes in for the big stuff, right? So you get a bunch of crap in the middle, and that's when I kind of, I kind of fade off, and I'm not really paying attention, and then I'm waiting for the big hits at the end. So the idea that like I'm just saying that like we understand that come June 11th, this same formula is going to be in the Xbox showcase. You know what I mean? Like they're
uh,
going to have this like in the middle of the thing that's going to have some games that a lot of people don't give a shit about. You know what I mean?
I
there
know.
there is no
People
filler,
don't give a
only
shit about.
Zool.
That people don't give a shit. No one give a shit about like
I
every
mean, I mean,
like
most people
here's
just like you guys don't care about foam stars. Last showcase they were showing, Sea of Thieves highlights and Grounded 1.0 and a lot of stuff that a lot of people aren't going to get excited about. The
no they were
showcases all have the same formula.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for
I need to
Xbox
know what
Showcase
games.
for them
I
to.
need to know what games you saw
I
that
mean
you found exciting. I
I'm
really would
sure
like to hear
And
that.
we're
Xbox will have update 120 for Sea of Thieves at the next showcase. You know.
no, but here's the
100%. It's going to be
Yeah.
there. It's
no
going to
but
be there.
here's the thing. Yeah,
Wait,
but
wait a
here's the
second.
thing.
Wait a second. Wait a second. I want to know what games
okay.
as a service that you were interested in.
No, but let me just point out the
Myself,
fact that
me,
just
Yeah.
because we didn't care about a
I
game, it doesn't mean that everyone else didn't care. What I liked about this PlayStation Showcase, the same way as why I like so much the Xbox showcases as well as the Xbox exclusive portfolio, is that there's a game for everyone. It can be any type of genre, it can be any type of graphic style, it can be any type of adventure or story game. And what I saw from this PlayStation Showcase is that they are giving more variety, and they are trying to get more people interested in
Ask,
the PlayStation
I would
platform,
like to know
and
what
that's a
game
great thing.
that Mayhem found was games as a service. What games were you excited for outside of Marathon? Yeah, outside of Marathon, I'll just take that one away. Outside of
Fair
Marathon,
games, fair games.
I mean the first the first one, the heist one looks pretty cool. I think
Yeah,
that one has some
yeah,
potential.
that one didn't look
Um,
like anything, but in my opinion, like I couldn't get into
yeah.
what the game was supposed to be. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I
Hmm.
mean,
I,
it
I
can
don't
be
Okay.
know. I mean,
great.
I guess. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't look at anything
All
as
right.
what. Like it doesn't look like a game
All right.
or
No,
like
no, no.
what.
It didn't give
No,
me. It didn't give me what the premise is. I get. I mean, I
exactly.
get what the premise is, but it didn't give me an idea of what the game plays like at all. I
And it,
understand you
I
give me
I
that I'm
immediately
supposed to
thought it
break
was going to
in.
be contraband, but not with cars.
Yeah, but everybody in the party we were in kept saying contraband, and I was just dying, and it just wasn't. And I was like, "This show kid." Everybody was hyped for contraband, but yeah, it wasn't even that. I was like, "No, that's not it."
All right.
But
Look,
it didn't really show me anything though.
we're
The
gonna
only game that they had was the first one. I still keep forgetting the name.
we're gonna run
Go
down
ahead,
them.
Bobby. I'm sorry.
And honestly, I think Helldivers is going to be pretty fun. I mean, like I
Okay.
said, me and my
It didn't
brother
look that
probably
it didn't look that good either though. It looked like listen, it looked like it might have been an alpha build or something, but it did not look good. I'm interested in it because I'm always interested in any sci-fi, but it did not look good.
Okay, well, I feel like okay. So then I'll attack it from this angle. Then I feel like it's a general consensus that most people in the gaming space don't think that Redfall looks good, right? But you guys
I
think
agree.
that it does, correct?
No, I don't. No,
no,
I don't.
Well, Fabio says that he likes it. I hear a
I like
lot of
no,
Xbox
I
guys
like it.
talking about liking
Mm,
I like it.
not me.
I like it.
No, no, no. I like it. I like the game. I like the
it.
game. I
Okay.
do enjoy. I am having fun.
Mm-mm.
But here's the thing:
I don't like arcane games.
the graphical problems are a fact. I love the style. I love the environments, but the graphics they need to be improved, of course.
All right, we're getting
But
off topic.
it was great.
Redfall is not part of this topic. First game on the Sony showcase was Fair Games, and it looks like a snatch and grab kind of robbery type Las Vegas game. Definitely games
Las
as
Vegas.
yes, it looked like Fair Games where you team up with a bunch of buddies and you try and it's like a big robbery
Payday.
loot style game,
Right.
Payday.
like a
There we
heist.
go.
Yeah, and
Payday.
Right.
yeah, just like Payday. And it's a games as a service, and I don't think it's gonna last. I don't think it's not gonna have. It's gonna be one of those games that comes out and everybody goes, oh yeah, this is kind of cool, and then it's gonna and then after a couple weeks, it's like
I got to see gameplay first before I say
Yeah,
that. I got to
yeah.
see gameplay.
You cannot say
But that
stuff like
trailer
that
did
about
not inspire me though. That
no,
trailer did not inspire me at all. That CGI
I
gameplay
mean,
didn't inspire me at all. But
I
at the same
mean,
time, I got to see the game first.
yeah, as I said, like Bob, you cannot say that the game is going to be dead when we haven't seen any gameplay or we
I
haven't
don't know.
seen a release.
But you can say you got a feeling. You
I
can say
mean,
you got a feeling
I'm
though.
I'm hooked on a feeling.
I mean, why did everyone said that Destruction All Stars from PlayStation wasn't going to last for such a long time? Because when they announced it, we saw gameplay, we saw what the game was all about, we saw the
Right.
style of the game, and it happened. But with contraband, no, not contraband. I'm sorry, with fair games, like it's the same shit. I'm sorry, but with fair games, like let's be
No,
honest.
they're both probably going to have the same fate. Like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why
most of these games as a service aren't going to land, and that's the whole thing. Is like
Yeah.
they're constantly chasing that Fortnite effect because they all want the big Fortnite money. But here's the deal:
Right.
like, not every game is going to hit. Like, I can look at a game most of the time and tell you the reason why Destiny 2 is consistent is because of the gunplay and because
So
of the
many
cadence
things,
and content.
And
So
because
many
there's
things to do, so many weapons to chase, so many
Right.
ways
no
to grind.
and because
Right.
nobody cares about what happened before in the story because you cannot access at all.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can, yeah. Well, they'll vault things, and you can play certain things, but it is locked behind like paywalls and stuff. But the thing is like people get invested in those kind of games. Destiny
Right.
2 is purposely tied in a lot of MMO aspects of
Yes.
games like World of Warcraft, and they're going to be doing that with Diablo 4. Right, Diablo 4 is a game that I think could have a lot of legs because it has that drive, it has that like grind. You have to get people
It
to want to
has my
grind.
pre-order
If you
too.
want a
Yes.
games as a service to succeed, you have to convince people to do
Yeah.
the same shit over and
Agree.
over again.
I agree.
Let's be
Otherwise,
honest.
it's not going to work.
I
No, no,
agree.
let's be honest. Destiny 2 has achieved a point where it's equivalent to Minecraft. I don't think we are ever going to see a Destiny 3 the same way as I don't think we are ever going to see a Minecraft 2 because it just got to that point where people are just playing over and over and over and they can just get tired of it. And congratulations.
Well, I mean,
to
after the final shape, because the final shape was actually announced at this showcase. So Bungie uses the Tiger engine, which the Tiger engine was developed back in 2012. That engine has actually reached the limit of what it can do. This past expansion, they actually had to make a sacrifice in the world they were building, of whether or not they could have more like people and NPCs, or whether they could have more enemies. Their plan supposedly is to have a new engine running Destiny 3 and potentially this marathon game could be running on the
Ah,
same engine. So
so seriously, we are going to
What
see
did,
a
what did you think of the game?
Curious. I mean, I seriously would consider the fact that they are not going to make a sequel for Destiny at all because
Well, we're not.
this
We're
even
talking about. We are
said,
getting off track again because now we're talking about
yeah,
Destiny.
I'm sorry. Like this is the off-topic show, so yeah.
So,
Miss-
what did you think of the game?
Yeah, Noof, did
So
you
which game are we referring to?
the first game, Fair Games, where it kind of looked like a heist type, payday type game.
Right.
Oh, no interest in that. No, that one and that other fucking game that followed it. What was it called? That multiplayer
Helldivers.
don't care for that one. And there was one after that too. The Amazon.
Immortals of
Which-
Avium.
Okay.
Yeah, most of those games. Nah, I pretty much already stated what I was interested in. A lot of those games, it just not really my cup of tea.
I'm actually going to buy Immortals of Avium. That looked cool to me.
Yeah, that.
I seriously wanted to play Helldivers, but
That
I don't have
samurai
a
game was
PlayStation.
pretty cool looking though.
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Phantom Blade looked.
I'm waiting for Bobby to bring that game up.
What?
I'm waiting for Bobby to bring that up.
Phantom Zero, is it Phantom something?
Phantom
Yeah,
Blade.
Phantom Zero. Yeah.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Phantom Blade Zero.
Blade Zero.
Yes.
But no Eternal, but no Stellar Blade. That was another weird one that wasn't shown. But that,
Yeah, I was really surprised not to see that.
I was
What did
actually
they-
wanting to see Pragmata. I was really hoping to
Me
see
too.
Pragmata.
Yeah.
See,
Shout
me too,
out.
yeah.
Maybe they're remodeling the girl character because she's too fucking sexy with that suit on. Maybe
Shout
that's
out
what's
to Two Pad Stack 7 in the chat. He brought it up what we're all thinking. Where was Death Stranding 2, Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Wolverine Factions, and Pragmata? Where were they at?
I mean, I guess we might see him at Games Fest. I guess.
Yeah, Sony's never really had a presence at Games Fest though. I mean, this was their.
I don't think Sony wants to step on Insomniac's toes with Spider-Man right now. To be honest, as far as Wolverine, and I don't think that game's probably ready to have a full-blown showcase. I think Wolverine is probably late 2024.
Yeah, I agree. No. Listen, either late 2024 or mid 2025. I just think it's too early for that game. I agree with you.
When was
Yeah.
the Wolverine announced?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
So is
20,
it
that
like-
long ago.
2021.
Isn't that
Yeah.
like the same effects that we were complaining from Xbox to announce a game, it take years and
Yeah,
nothing?
no, I'm not one of them guys, man. I'm one of the guys that I want to hear that stuff because I want to be
Yeah.
hyped.
Less than
Yeah,
a,
I don't care.
Less
I
than.
don't
they
want
show
to see
Wonder
it
Woman.
3 months before it comes out. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. When they show Wonder
Oh,
Woman, I
look
was
at.
cool with that because I was like, hey, we get the Wonder Woman game.
Okay, big shout out. Our guest has just arrived. I brought this man on for our 50th episode because he has always been there whenever this show was short on panelists, short on guests. A 50th episode, he's always been down there at the very shortest of notices to come on the show. Mr. Jedi Knight Peter. You're a
Hopefully that
pan.
has sparked
You're a
water in it.
panelist.
Apologies for coming late. I thought we were going to give half the show to Bushido and then half the show to me so I could avoid him. Unfortunately, he's still here.
Oh, man.
Congratulations, Bobby, on 50 episodes, man. You guys deserve it. I love this show. I don't mind coming through at late notice, man. Anytime I can come on your
There
show,
you
it's
go.
a good day for me, brother. So shout out to everyone.
Shout out to Boba Fett Gaming in the chat saying that he's double duty Peter, leaving one show and coming on to another. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. I just came from the Fix Umbra show. Yeah, so that's why I'm late. I apologize, brother. I thought you started a bit later, man.
That's all
The
right.
show is mid. Sergeant Santa, what's up, buddy?
You
Yeah.
left the Fix to join a podcast with Dix. There you go.
Damn, dude. Hey, Sergeant, how's it going?
Bob, I gotta take off, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
All right, Mayhem. You keep it real, brother.
Bro.
Let him mayhem.
brother.
Woo!
Okay.
I really want to consider
You scared him off already, Jedi. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Damn, bro.
No, he's look, big
I wanted someone.
No, yeah,
really
family
wanted
obligations.
to
Big,
be more on the
big
stage.
shout out to Mayhems. He's doing what he has to do right now for his family, working really odd hours to take care of
That's
everybody. And it's a blessing that we get an hour that he gives to us on his way home from work in his car. So I don't really agree with that, but he wanted to still be part of the show, and that is awesome that he's doing this. Just
Didn't sound bad either.
please don't get
the audio was ever.
please don't get in a wreck while you're talking about a topic and getting all irate. I will really feel bad about it. Hey, big shout out to Scottsy and Sergeant and Boba Fett Gaming in the chat. Thanks for stopping by. Big shout out, Shooter 2853, sir. Yeah. So, Ghost Runner 2. I gotta say, I'm a little hyped about Ghost Runner 2. And it's coming to Xbox as well. That is going to be released on Xbox. We'll get into that. How we know that a little later, because that was kind of savage. I've got to say, yeah. JediKnightPeter, sir, real quickly, how have you been? What have you been doing? This is your mid-show intro. Hey, that rhymed. Damn, I should be a rapper. Think I got it, Bush?
Yeah, man, I don't know how much you guys have talked about the PlayStation Showcase, but we had an awesome watch party yesterday with Umbra, myself, Bushido, Colt, Zorka, Shooter, some really good people in there. Had a really good time watching it, just watching the debacle that was the PlayStation Showcase. I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I quite enjoyed it from a games perspective.
That show
PlayStation
alive.
perspective. Yeah, I mean, from a PlayStation perspective, I could see all the negativity, but I quite enjoyed it. I was looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2. That game looked amazing. I was looking forward to Alan Wake, Marathon, Bungie's new IP. I get that they're all coming to Xbox, but hey, that's good for me, man. And look, I finished Jedi Survivor, finally. That game has to get nominated for the Game of the Year. I loved everything about it. Tells one of the best Star Wars stories I've had in a while. Yeah, I know, Bushy, you finished it quite early, bro. I finally did get to all the bounties, so I know what you're talking about. I will not spoil anything for anybody, because really, you guys got to experience that game. Just phenomenal. It did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. Did not expect it, man. Yeah, so good. And I suppose I should have expected it, but I tend not to look at games like that. I don't want to look too far into games because I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
And not much, Bobby. Honestly, bro, just doing my thing, man. Just doing my thing. Still on Xbox Infinite. We got Kaya Sante tomorrow. Really looking forward to that show. And I cannot wait for the Xbox Showcase. I mean, I always thought it was going to be good. I want to see Fable. I want to see Avowed. I want to see Hellblade. I want to see Forza Motorsport. I think we're going to get to see all of that. I want to be surprised. I want to see, maybe Indiana Jones or Quake or something like that. So, yeah, really good time to be a gamer.
Yes, it is. Oh, and okay. Next on the list, so we had Phantom Blade Zero, Ghost Runner 2, Sword of the Sea.
Didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that one either. Anybody else care for that?
No.
Nope.
The Talos Principle. Now that one kind of caught my eye a little bit. Also,
Which one was
comes
that one? Yeah, exactly. Which one was that one?
the
I
Talos.
mean, no. It's just It's just because I saw the trailer for that and I was like, okay, what is it?
Yeah.
And then the trailer ended and I was like, okay, what is it? What the hell is this?
Right?
It was like Everwild. What the fuck do you do?
We still don't know what Everwild is.
Wild Ever. Wild Ever. That's what it was called. Wild Ever.
Oh gosh, I don't even think Rare knows what Everwild is right now.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I hope they know what they're doing.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but that big Everwild game, I didn't know what that was either. I was like, it's just like Everwild.
And then there was
Wild Never
the
game. Yeah.
the Neva game coming out in 2024. It's also going to be on Xbox. Not really looking forward to that at all. Just the art style, the gameplay didn't catch my eye. Not my type of game. Noof,
I don't know
you
what it's
either?
Which one are we talking about again?
Neva. Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah. Neva.
Never.
Neva.
I never-
Nava.
Oh, never. Yes, that cartoon-looking game. Or whatever.
Yes. And the next one, Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean.
That look,
Look beautiful. Look nice.
Caribbean.
Oh, it's totally perfect. Oh.
Right? Oh, gosh. And we've already talked about Foam Stars, the Splatoon wannabe. Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
I do want to dig into that real quick. Why would you make a game with pastel colors, but then have your characters have the same colors that you have on the screen? I was like, it was hurting my eyes to try to differentiate between the landscape and the character. And then you had this haze around it so that you could see the outline of the body. And I'm like, this thing is hurting my eyes. I'm going to keep saying this. I didn't go into the showcase looking to hate. I went into the showcase looking to be hyped. Peter tell you, we was all inside the party like, yeah, I think it's going to be this. I think this and that and this and that. I think it's going to be good. And you showed these games, especially that game. We ripped that game apart the second it came on the screen. And we're like, yo, what is that? And I know you got to try to do different things. I know you got to try to do innovative things. But somebody's got to do quality control, be like, yo, this is a stupid idea. So let's start off over again.
Published game. That's not an exclusive to PlayStation, is it? Is that a
PlayStation? Yeah, I think so.
Which
There's
one?
so many games that look like a copy.
I was going to say, because if
was
that's
it
a
Fair
PlayStation
Games?
exclusive game, they should definitely put it on Xbox, or Square Enix is going to have another flop on their hands.
Foam Stars
But
is an
Fair
exclusive,
Games
yes.
Fair Games look like, say, Payday. Foam Stars look like Splatoon. I just saw a lot of creative bankruptcy in the shows. A lot of games of a service that were trying to chase a trend. And you're right, Pseudo. We were incredibly excited for the showcase. I thought that Sony were going to come hard. I really thought that they were going to show what they said was Phase 2 of the PS5. The phase 2 of the PS5 generation, and I thought that they were going to show some big things, and it was incredibly disappointing.
All right, the Plucky Squire, not interested whatsoever. No.
Seriously?
Yeah. No, I'm
I
sorry.
thought it looked like.
Wait. Is that the book game that looked like
Yeah.
Little dude going in and out of like 2D worlds into 3D.
okay.
Not my jam. Not my jam.
Yes, it looked okay.
The next game on the list, though, is my jam. Teardown. I'm looking forward to Teardown. I like it. I like the art style. It's got a Minecraft feel.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that blocky game?
Yeah, where you're like destroying buildings and driving a car through. Yeah, I thought it. I liked it.
Minecraft
you
meets
gotta-
GTA,
You have
man.
to hang out more. We have to hang out more.
Honestly,
well.
I saw that.
I
I
gotta
saw that
fix that
game,
with
and
you.
honestly, I
Damn.
saw that game, and I was like, take that, Crackdown free. I mean,
Wait,
I
that's why I
enjoyed.
make a reference to that too. With the destruction inside the game. I swore somebody made a crackdown joke inside the party.
Oh.
Well,
Peters.
it had better building and destruction in Crackdown. It had some really cool special effects.
Man, that game looked like. Oh, I'm just. It did not look good. No, I'm trying to watch my language. No.
Okay,
No.
well, it did. So there's a game right now that is just rampaging through Steam, and it is called Construction Destruction, correct? Where it kind of has this art style, and yet you're having to basically drive a car through buildings, try and tear down the buildings, and that always kind of appealed to me, the videos that I've seen of it. And I thought, man, it would be really cool if Xbox had a game like that. And now both platforms are getting a game like that. And yeah.
Look, this goes back to my previous point. It's a Minecraft clone. Yeah, I think it could be fun. It's not a game that's made for me, but another creatively bankrupt game.
It could be fun for a little while, maybe.
All
if
right.
It is fun.
Time for Bob to bring the heat. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake. Yes, if this remake is treated like the Resident Evil remakes have been treated, we are in for a treat. And yes, it's going to be multi-platform. It's hitting both bases. Man, it makes me want to go back to play the original just so I have a honest comparison.
You will be able. They are going to be releasing the full collection, right?
Yep.
This year.
Is the full collection multi-plat though? Also.
I think
Yes.
so. Yes.
Ooh, Bob's there.
Does it make
Yes.
Does it make any sense not to be?
Yeah, I mean, Xbox didn't mention that in their tweet, so I didn't know whether or not it was going to be multi-plat.
Here's one thing I want to bring up. When you watch the trailer, why in the world did the trailer start with ants? I was like,
Dude.
once I saw what it was, right? Why did we start all the way at the beginning of the swamp with ants?
Dude, I really
Bro,
think...
I'm not
Exactly what I was going to
When
say,
I saw
bro.
the ants, I thought, oh shit, Sony's coming out with their own version of Grounded.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we said in the
Yes.
party
Yes.
as well.
I thought that as well. I thought that as well.
Trailer did
Yeah,
not
they're all
show the
grounded.
game off to the best of its ability at all, and it's such a huge showing. I get that it's a third-party game. I get it's coming to Xbox, but it's always been synonymous with PlayStation, that IP, and it just didn't show the game off as good as it could have.
Yep, we said that. Yep, it didn't do a service to that game at all, or just the IP.
So I kind of enjoyed it because I think it was kind of a... They didn't drop it on... Until you saw Snake, it didn't dawn on you. Up until that, it could have been so many different things, and I'm scratching my head. I'm going...
No. I called it out. I did call it out.
Oh, bullshit.
You did, bro.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, when Alligator wrestling the snake, I called it out. Yeah.
I think the collection comes
Yeah,
out.
fuck off,
really
Bushido.
soon. Like either July. It's either July or August, Bobby. I'm not sure, mate.
Oh, man. Hey, I saw that, Noof. It was called Honey, I Spanked My Snake. Oh, but yeah, it's going to be awesome. And it's been so long since I've gotten to play the first and the second one on the older PlayStations to have that experience again. If it's done, if they do it justice in the collection, if they're good ports, it's going to be a treat. It's going to be awesome.
So this Delta one is going to be a remake of Snake Eater, but the other ones are just going to be a collection, like like an HD collection kind of deal.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. It's like a remaster type thing. Yeah.
Towers of
Agashba.
Aghashba. I don't know.
Bless you.
Yeah, that's a difficult one, bro.
Look
That
at
is a
this bar.
difficult one.
Yeah, let's
I
call
know.
it Shirley.
Yeah.
Let's call it Ramona.
If you can't pronounce the game, it's probably dead on arrival.
Towers of Ramona Shirley. You heard it here first.
Let's call it Ramona Shirley. I think that's a much better name.
What did it look like? I forgot what that one was.
Oh gosh, I can't even remember. I mean, there were 34 games shown. The only ones that really stand out and that I could pull to memory immediately are the ones that I was interested in.
Yeah, that one didn't stand out at all.
Now, Final Fantasy.
Okay, so the Towers of Agabashka looked a little bit like Zelda to me. So he's flying through the air on that height thing, Bushido, if you remember it. The graphics didn't look sensational, but I thought it looked like a little bit of a Zelda clone. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be nowhere near as good as Zelda, but that's the impression
Oh,
that I
you
got
mean-
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
You mean kind of like this diamond in the rough that's on screen now that got more praise from the gamers than it did the reviewers? Fucking 7 out of 10. Are you kidding me? Immortals Phoenix Rising was
one
amazing.
reviewer, bro. It got
It
a
really was.
96 on Metacritic, man. You're not gonna that elevates it into a category that not many games have ever.
Honestly, I
That's
think
stratospheric.
Immortals
all
Phoenix
that.
Rising is better running, better looking, better playing than the new Zelda. Yes, I said it. Crucify me.
Look,
you
I
didn't.
think Immortals Phoenix
I know that
Rising
hurt
is
to hear that.
incredibly underrated. It didn't
It
sell
really
well. I
is.
hope they continue on with that IP. I know that they have changed that IP and
I
they're
know
going to
they
go
actually did
a
say they
lot
were.
more realistic looking. I don't think that that's the right way to go. I think they just needed to market
Yeah.
it better.
Well, I
I didn't
mean,
play it until it came on Game Pass, but wow, is that a great game.
Peter just said it. It did get the same Metascore that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom got. So,
It is a Zelda clone. It is so. Matter of fact, you got it on the screen now.
yes, I
It
do.
is so much freaking fun. I was addicted to the game. I was playing it every day. I was playing like 12 hours a day. I was not trying to get missions done. I was trying to do every side mission. The game is freaking amazing.
This gameplay is actually a couple of years old. I'm only a few hours into the game here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it. It was really a brilliant game.
And
I
it's
was
got
really
such
surprised.
good DLC. The DLCs are great. They're really expanding,
I
and
haven't played it.
there's 3 of them.
This
They're
is
awesome.
the problem with new IPs.
I might play it.
But developers are reluctant to take risks because they make a great game like this, and Ubisoft used their best team for this game. They used the team that they made for Assassin's Creed Origins, so very renowned team to make this game. They thought it was going to be the next big thing, but it just didn't hit the way they wanted it to, and I don't know, it's just disappointing. But I would recommend this game to anyone. It's fantastic.
Yes.
I don't remember Phoenix Immortal Rising having microtransactions. I don't remember that. Did you guys remember the game?
I don't think it has microtransactions.
It doesn't have no. It has DLCs you can buy in the store, but as far as microtransactions within the game, it does not.
I mean, will you guys?
I think it might. I think it does. I think it's just like Assassin's Creed, where you can go to the store page and you can get different cosmetics, but they're all just cosmetics. You don't actually need to buy any of them, just like Assassin's Creed does it.
Will you guys hate me if I say that I didn't play neither Assassin's Creed Valhalla and neither Immortals Phoenix
No, I haven't
Rising?
played Valhalla
So
yet
I
either.
haven't bought it. I need to buy that. Like, God, can someone give me money so I can play some games?
Well, Phoenix Rising was actually on Game Pass, and that's how I played it,
Yeah,
Fabio.
that's how I played it
So
too.
I didn't actually purchase it. I think it might actually still be on.
It
there,
is
so I'm
on
gonna give
Game
it a go.
Pass. It is.
Okay,
Is
I'm
it still there?
downloading.
Yeah, okay.
I'm downloaded.
What Phoenix
There we
Rising
go.
is, isn't it?
Yes.
The nightmare is over.
Awesome game.
The nightmare's over.
The
My
darkness are over.
in my compressed
Like Lawrence told me.
My compressed gameplay does not do it justice. This is a beautiful, colorful game. It's sharp.
It
And,
really is.
yes. Okay. I'm not going to talk about Final Fantasy because I don't want to get on a. I don't want to get on a rant on how everybody should get Final Fantasy and not just one platform. So, Alan Wake 2. I cannot wait. I loved the first one. I played both expansions. Oh, and then it
The
just
most
dropped me.
interesting,
Yes.
the most interesting part is to discover that Alan Wake all this time was John Wick.
Hmm. I know, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. And did you guys notice that Sam Lake is in this game again?
yeah. Did.
The
I mean,
Remedy,
like,
the Remedy director.
But,
I was thinking to myself, what the
dude,
hell
I
are
thought
they
the
I was like,
same
John
thing.
Wick.
I was
We
I
were
was
talking
like
about that at the party
Yeah.
too.
I was
I was
like,
like, is
"Oh
that
my
John
god,
Wick?
they got
Yeah, that's what
Keanu
I
Reeves
thought.
to play Alan Wake." Wow.
He looks just like him.
The hair and the beard and everything. It's like, okay, wow. It's
Oh,
like
Exactly.
that doesn't look much like the original Alan Wake guy. That's for
shout
sure.
out
No,
to
not
Two
at
Pad
all.
Stack 7 and Brando Calrissian in the chat. And I think I got you, Scotty, but I'll get you again. Guys, thanks for showing up for the 50th episode. We're having a blast going through this showcase. 34 games to go through, and we're halfway through, so let's move. Assassin's Creed Mirage was shown, and I was shocked because if you remember correctly, the last three Assassin's Creeds, Xbox had marketing rights. We saw Origins first at the One X debut. We saw, yeah, and now Mirage has been shown at the PlayStation Showcase. Do you think they have marketing rights for it, or is it was it up for grabs and that's why Sony had a showcase as early as they did? Any?
Honestly, my curiosity is like, wait, if Ubisoft allowed Sony to show off Assassin's Creed Mirage, what are they going to be showing in their showcase?
Maybe the Splinter Cell remake.
Or they'll
Seriously?
probably show the rest
Uh,
of the game because it only showed really
Ubisoft,
just a
Because
clip.
in
yeah,
a certain
Ubisoft
way,
typically do that, but they show their
Yeah.
games at a showcase where they get a little bit of money from marketing rights, and then they'll show it again at their own showcase. I don't think that's a
Right.
very big deal. But
yeah,
but the
Right.
biggest surprise to me is we got a release date, so and it's not too far, 12th of August. Nowhere
Oh
near long
yeah.
enough to play Starfield. Way too close together, if you ask me. But it looked
Absolutely.
great. And I
It
love that
really
they're
did.
going back to the original Assassin's Creed. I don't want them to move away from what they've done in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I do want them to
Me too.
merge the
No, they're
two.
not.
And I think Bassam, we didn't get to learn anywhere near enough about Bassam in Valhalla, so I think he'll be a really good protagonist.
yeah,
Well, Pete,
I
what about having both though? You could still have your Mirage and you could still have your Assassin's
They are.
Creed, the way that we've been getting recently.
The
You
new,
said they
the
I
are.
new,
hope they
Assa-
do it
that
that way.
that new, that
Yeah.
new, the next Assassin's Creed is that feudal Japan one, right? And that's going to be in the vein of Valhalla in those games.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
they're kind of doing a double-ended approach, which I applaud them for that because now they're kind of listening to the fan base. People like me who've been very
Right.
critical that I'm not really a fan of these gigantic open-world Assassin's Creed games. I did enjoy Origins. Odyssey was pretty damn good too. Like as good games on themselves, they were great. But I like the old style. I mean, to me, it's still one of my favorites ever. It's the very first two Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed and then Assassin's Creed 2. They were just magnificent games. The setting was amazing, and you really did feel like an assassin. Once they took away that the knife up in the arm, and you started, everything was in the daylight, and it just started to feel a little bit not like I said, Assassin's Creed in name only, but not really like the games I fell in love with. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
agree,
I
Newfang.
got you.
Going into
Yeah,
a
I got you.
massive war battle just is not what an assassin would do. He would work behind the scenes to make sure that war didn't start, or he would
Right.
assassinate the leader so it didn't go any further. I mean, that's
or
what Assassin's Creed has always
or
been about. And this is meant
or
to be a 15 to
Mm.
20 hour condensed story. And
Yeah.
I think that Valhalla definitely outstayed its welcome.
or depending on how the protagonist is, he was going to actually cause the war because he decided to be immature and kill the wrong target, and because of that, caused the wrong War.
I know
I
Ezio
fucking,
would never do that, bro. Come on.
yeah, but I'm talking about how much I hate Connor and Arno. Just
I
talking about
hate Connor too. Yeah.
Did you
like
really? I like Connor.
I
Wow.
can't stand
seriously,
Connor.
I can't stand. Like, please, I would love so much for a full game of his father. Like the beginning of Assassin's Creed 3 was so amazing with his father,
Agreed.
and then
Wasn't
with
Rogue about his?
Connor, it was such a disappointment.
I
Wait, was
agree
it Rogue about his
100%
father,
with
or
that.
was it about his grandfather?
What?
No.
Rogue, Assassin's Creed Rogue.
No, no. Rogue was with an assassin that leaves the Order to work with Hayton Kayway.
Okay. Oh,
Oh.
And
okay.
he
Okay.
becomes a Templar.
I thought he was
But I
related.
would,
Okay.
yeah, I would
Wow.
love a full game only with his father. Like he is so charismatic. Like he would definitely make you like sympathize with the Templars. Honestly.
It was a twist and a half when you found out he was a Templar, but the first part of Assassin's Creed 3 is by far and away the best part about it. Connor is
Exactly.
arrogant, and I just did not want to play
It's
as him. I did not
childish.
connect with him at all. Yeah.
Like the best solution he has for even to help his best friend, his childhood best friend, was to kill him. What?
We did get a bona fide release date for this game too, the 12th day of October this year.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And
Yeah, I will be. I'll try to buy
you
Assassin's
know,
Creed Valhalla and play
I'm
it.
gonna ask Noof Nukem because I don't really know this about him. And if I do, and I'm forgetting, forgive me. Are you an Assassin's Creed fan, sir? Is that your jam?
Yes and no. Like I said, I
Oh
fell
yeah,
in love
yeah,
with
yeah.
fell in love with the series early on. I really liked the first couple of Assassin's Creeds. I sort of tried to get back into the series when they came out with Unity on the Xbox One. You know, and I still think that Xbox or sorry, Assassin's Creed Unity still has amazing graphics that look good today. Obviously, that game was plagued with so much
But when
bugs
it
and stuff when it
launched,
came out.
Oh, when
But
it
you know, once it settled down, I mean, there was great gameplay at the core of it. You know, but like I said, what happened with me was just there was starting to get too many Assassin's Creed. They started feeling like they were again Assassin's Creed in name only, and too vastly different from the games I fell in love with, and I just stopped buying them. It was like I don't want an Assassin's Creed. I don't want a good Assassin's Creed every year. I want a great Assassin's Creed game every 3 years, like that. You
yeah,
know, that
Ubisoft
sort of thing. And they went to
Ubisoft really pushed
they
the
milked the
boundaries with Unity.
franchise. They
yeah.
milked the franchise. They
Yes.
almost killed it at one
I
point. That's
agree.
why they did take a bit of a break. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and like I said, and now with this sort of this two-headed approach where they're going back to the roots, they're trying to bring back those Assassin's Creed fans like myself who have, you know, publicly on podcasts said, look, I want a shorter experience. I want a linear experience. I don't want 100-hour games where I'm going across these big maps. You know, and as much as I know people loved Odyssey, that was the one that really just totally lost me. I was like, man, this game just doesn't feel like
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed to me. It
Odyssey
was
was
a
all
great
that.
game on its own, but that to me could have been Rise on a Rome open world, honest to God. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it did.
so
Yeah, it gave you that vibe. Yeah, I agree.
you know, like you're in a Gladiator, and I get it, but I'm really excited for the new one they're coming out with the feudal Japan. Like if they do that right, if because how many people played Ghost of Tsushima and went, holy shit, this feels like an
Yep,
Assassin's Creed game, only
yep,
better in a lot of ways. Because that's what I said. I was like,
yep,
man, this is Assassin's Creed done the way I want Assassin's Creed done, but it's not called
yep.
Assassin's Creed. And you know, like they did Assassin's Creed better than Ubisoft did Assassin's Creed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that's what I'm hoping for is something in that vein, but more a little bit more, you know, Assassin's Creed like, so to speak. So I'm excited for that. But I'm definitely picking up Mirage. It looks amazing. The graphics looks, and we obviously got to see in-game gameplay and not just some
Mm-hmm.
CGI trailer. So yeah, it looks great. I can't wait. I'll be there day one on that one.
Revenant
I heard
Hill.
that it's not going to be full price. I heard that it's going to be around the $40-50 mark as well. So
Ooh.
another
What?
that's what I heard, and I'm not. Look, please don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. But I heard that it's not
I
going to
think
be a
you
full
are.
price game.
Yeah,
Breaking news,
I think it's gonna be
exclusive
60. Yeah,
info.
I
Jedi
think they're
Knight
doing
Peter has confirmed that Assassin's Creed Mirage, as well
Yeah.
because Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsports are going to be $10.
That's right. You heard it first here on Game Set Live. I do
And
I do want to touch
and
on.
also, JediKnightPeter has confirmed that Sony will be bought by Warner Brothers.
So you weren't out of place when you said that Unity really did push the limits, because I remember trying to play Unity on the Xbox One and it had so many problems because the CPU just could not handle everything going on around you at once. It was crazy.
The
But
amount of characters on screen was
yes,
like it was revolutionary.
if
at the
you go
time.
back and you play
Yeah.
Unity right now on your Series X, and I'm going to say this as close to the mic as I can so you can understand, it's butter.
I'm scared.
It's so butter.
And that was one of the first games that was on the Xbox One that started to feel, though, regardless of the bugs, it looked and felt like, okay, we're playing on like the next gen hardware. You know what I mean? Like,
The
it
main
looks way
problem I
better
had
than
with
previous
Unity
stuff.
is the fighting wasn't fluid to me. So I loved walking through the streets of Paris. God, they got that bit right. It just looked beautiful. But taking on two armored guards was difficult.
Yeah. So
Weird nostalgic again.
I don't remember. I wrote this game down because it was next in the showcase, but I don't remember anything about it. So it couldn't have been that good. Revenant Hill. I don't remember anything about that game. Chat, do you remember Revenant
Why is
Hill?
it
It was like dead center in the middle of this showcase. Maybe that's why I don't remember, because it was dead center, but yeah. I mean, it was literally stuck in between Assassin's Creed and Street Fighter 6.
It's
I
that
didn't know about that. It's
storybook
about the
looking
cat
game.
one. The black
Oh, the
cat.
cat.
one.
Yeah, the black cat.
yeah.
I'm still waiting for the one where
Stray 2? Is it Stray 2?
Giant wolf. No,
Very,
No.
very
I'm still waiting for
forgettable
the-
game.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for us to talk about the one with the giant wolf.
Giant
We
wolf.
already did, didn't we?
That was Nana or
That,
Known
that
or whatever.
was, that was the big Everwild game.
No.
Neva.
Yeah, that was
Was
Neva.
Neva.
Yeah, we
Seriously?
talked about it. Yeah, we
We
talked about it.
earlier.
Ah, Jesus
We
Christ.
talked about it.
I didn't know the name of it. Like I thought it was beautiful, the trailer, because I love animals, and when I see animals dying and animals crying, I am going to. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, Laura Hinkle, I see why you love this man. My
You
goodness.
try After Us, Fabio. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for After Us, but it just launched, and the game looks utterly beautiful. And it has that thing where you are Mother Earth and you are reviving the spirits of animals.
Yeah,
It looks really beautiful.
the game does look good. Yeah.
I'm just like that because I do have a little doggy that is 17 years old, and yeah.
Ooh,
It's my
wow.
little-
Wow.
I'm 26 years old, so count the like when I got him first. I grew
Real
up.
quick, I just want to address somebody inside the chat. Bro. And then a side face.
Are you talking to yourself again, Bushido?
I have to put that side face. I wish I could put the side face like right here on the screen, but I can't. I'll put it in the chat, but I prefer to have it on screen like a big giant side-eyed, emoji.
Oh God. All right. So Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I was turned off by the art style of this game. I didn't really like it. I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever. I do believe it.
I love with that game instantly. He fell in love with the game instantly, and I was like, "Why?"
Because he likes trash. He likes trash.
I mean, he
Yeah, I
loves
guess, yeah.
He was even coughing.
No. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and if that's Umbra's jam, that's Umbra's jam, man. I mean, come on.
Man, I was like, no, it just did nothing for me either. And me and Pete sat there with the same side-eyed look, and Umber was sitting there with his eyes all buggy, big, and smiling. I was like, I can't do it to him. I was like, I can't take away that joyful look on his face, and so I just left him alone.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing more heartbreaking
This
than
is
watching excitement go to sorrow. I wouldn't have
This
done
is
it
my
either.
problem with the showcase. I love that they brought indies. I thought that was a good idea. I think they've been lacking
It's
that, but
it
the
is
indies
good.
they
Yeah.
showed was so forgettable. Like when
Yeah.
Xbox shows indies, they show Hollow Knight replaced Ori with
Yeah. Stuff you really interesting.
Benedict Fox. You know, great looking indies that stand out even among the triple A's. That was really disappointing from my perspective.
Next was Street Fighter 6.
Awesome.
I like fighting games, but I suck at them, so I do not have a dog in this fight. Am I do I need to rethink my my love of fighting games? Because
There's a demo out on Xbox right now, KY, if you want to try it. Now, you only get to play as a couple of characters, but it gives you a sense of the movement and what the game's
Yeah.
going to be like. So I would recommend just downloading that and giving it a try.
See what?
Unfortunately, Bob, the problem with fighting games is you have to you have to dedicate your life to playing it. And listen, I'm not saying you got to play it all day, but you have to play it at least an hour a day to be proficient in the game. And if that's not you, then fighting games are never going to be you because that's the only way to be competitive with it. I like fighting games. I'll play at my leisure because I'm pretty good, but but I'm not good. I'm just pretty
so
good.
what you're
I could beat your time.
saying is that I would have to play it the way Dealer Gaming plays NBA
Yeah,
2K23.
no. Nobody should play games the way he plays 2K.
Shout out to you,
You know
brother.
what?
Dealer Gaming, I love you, bro.
I would recommend using the Xbox Elite D-pad as well if you're going to play a fighting game. It
It's
really helps.
true too.
Oh, okay. The next
But I'm gonna get
game, Ultros. Ultros.
pros.
Ultros. Don't remember it whatsoever.
Ultros.
Look,
Yeah.
it's another one of the indie games that they showed that was just forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
And Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy. Nope. Okay, the next game I'm actually hyped for, and that is Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You and Peter are really gonna geek out over that game. It
Yes.
looked great though.
And it's
It really did look great though.
multi-plat, coming to both platforms. Yes. Yes. Please, feed my need for a dragon game because Scalebound's dead, please.
Hey, let me.
Hey, don't compare Scalebound to Dragon's Dogma. That is exactly it.
Damn.
That- oh wow!
Fucking called
No,
out on
look,
my...
Dragon's Dogma
The game
is one
was
of the
good,
most
though.
criminally underrated RPGs of last generation. It was a fantastic game played by way too many people. It was just fantastic. You can still go back and play it today. You can always get it for a very cheap price. And I wasn't 100% sure they were going to show this game, but there were rumors, and boy, this stole the show for me. It's one of the games that I've been looking forward to. The gameplay in Dragon's Dogma is one of the standouts, and I think one of the best RPG combat systems that's ever been made. I really do think it's that good. That, along with Kingdoms of Amalur, I think are criminally underrated. Cannot wait for this game. I think it could have shown better. I think the graphics left a little bit to be desired, especially
Yes, I was
considering
just
it's
about to bring
using
that up.
yeah, especially considering it's using the RE engine, and we've seen the RE engine being used to, like if you look at, say, Resident Evil 4, that game looks amazing. I think it's, a little time coming. We didn't get a release date, so I'm hoping that they can build upon that, but yeah, cannot wait for this game.
Yeah.
To add to what you said, Pete, where it did look good was the dragon. The dragon looked fantastic, but when it showed the people, it looked a little dull. It didn't look as realistic. But when it was showed things like I said, like with the dragon, it looked really, really good. And I think this is one of the type of games though that it's not necessarily about the looks; it's about the gameplay and the story. So, yeah.
That's
I
how
mean, that pawn system that they have in the game hasn't been implemented in any other game. So you can design basically a second character that comes along with you on your journey, and it's an excellent system. And you can actually borrow your friend's pawn. So if your friend makes their NPC character, you can then take them into the game, and they will progress with you. And I just love the system. Really thought it would be implemented more after the first game, and nobody seems to use it. But the really good thing about your pawn is they are excellent at fighting. They really help you out. They pull off some move sets that you just didn't think an NPC would be able to do. Yeah, I highly recommend playing the first game first. And there's also an anime show on Netflix that you can watch if you want a little bit of backstory
Right.
to the lore.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
So the next game that
Wait. We didn't ask Noof if he what he
no.
thought of the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just kind of threw it out there and everybody jumped on it like piranhas. Noof, Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma.
It looks really cool, but I never played the first one, so I'm kind of a little bit reserved about it. But it does look really cool, and it's something I might try out. But I don't know, like, again, without having previous experience, I'm not 100% sure if I'd like the game. So I just kind of want to be a bit more reserved on that kind of deal. But it does look really freaking cool. The graphics were awesome. It was definitely one of the more showcasey of the showcasey titles.
The Metroidvania game. That's what that other game was. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. It just he mentioned it in the chat when we were talking about that game and we asked what it was. That's that game. The game that looked like he was tripping on acid or whatever when he fell down into some well or whatever or hole, and it was like a Metroid-ish type game. That's that game.
So
no.
we have a whole after the next game that I mentioned, we have a whole Noof Nukem section coming up that I expect nobody else to talk about. Because
Really?
I mean,
I can do what I did during the show and go make a coffee and have a break.
Dude, does anybody else here on the panel have a PSVR 2?
Yeah, baby.
Nope.
Okay, then.
Nope.
Yeah. So the next game that I'm going to talk about is
I can hear Duke rubbing his hands together.
So
baby.
The next game I'm going to talk about. So up until this point, the showcase hadn't been. I mean, yeah, they did. They went indie heavy. They went third party heavy. The next game the next game to me, it lowered the class of the if this was a class 4 showcase, this next game brought it down to a class 3, possibly a 2.9, because to me in the landscape of gaming right now, with what gamers are expecting on their consoles, you don't fucking show a Five Nights at Freddy's game during your showcase. They showed Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted 2. We're talking about a game that my 8-year-old can't wait to play on his phone, and they showed it at their PS5 showcase.
None of us knew what it was, but I had to give credit to Umber. He sniffed it out before the reveal, and I was like, really? And it sure enough was. I wasn't even paying attention to it.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't even paying attention to it.
He plays these games to game score, you know.
Oh, he plays that? Now I gotta look down on him now.
But yeah,
Five Nights at Freddy's. Wow, that's like digging inside the trash can and scraping it to see what good you could get out of it. Ugh.
Yeah. Okay. So enough about that. Yeah, there's nothing to say about it. Just like really, Sony.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a popular game though, unfortunately.
I mean, it is, but
Yeah, I know.
Noof Nukem, come on down, sir. We have gotten to the VR section of the PlayStation Showcase.
Hey, but we didn't talk about Phantom of Blade, but anything besides VR.
Okay, so the very first game showed for VR was Resident Evil 4 VR mode in development, sir. What'd you think? Honest opinion. Is this game you're going to play with your VR headset?
Resident Evil 4 VR.
Yes,
Friggin'
sir.
hell yeah. Did you
Yeah.
not look at that shit? That
I'm-
shit looked amazing. That's the kind of stuff that actually looked like
It
was
did.
next.
It
And I was
did.
like, oh my god, that looked nuts. Absolutely. I will be buying that game pretty soon. When that mode comes out, I'm gonna pick up a copy damn well, and I will be playing that shit. Absolutely.
Yeah, I played it the way it was meant to be played with the controller in hand.
Yeah, that looks so cool, man. I don't know.
Don't
That's
you-
all.
hey,
That's all I can
haven't
say.
you-
Like I said,
Haven't you seen Lawnmower Man? VR makes everything better. I mean, come on.
It did look
Duh.
amazing. I have to say that the graphics really popped off the screen when they showed Resident Evil 4.
When-
I
when
hope
you
the game
play-
actually looks
when-
like that in VR. Yeah, because it looked amazing.
when
It
when
did,
you
it
play
did.
any of these Resident Evil games in VR, if you thought just playing a standard Resident Evil game was spooky or creepy or whatever, just playing the games, well, you should play them in VR. They take on a life of their own. That shit is like
Yeah, I believe that.
literally being there, man. I'm telling you, like you're not. It feels like you're not even really playing a game anymore. Like when you're crawling, even in Resident Evil Village, just right at the start of the whole game, even and you're going through that dark woods in VR, and it really starts to feel like you're in a dark, isolated woods. Like the atmosphere in VR, again, I'll say this a billion times, cannot be matched with traditional gaming experiences, and that's something I cannot relate to people enough. You just don't get it if you've never tried it, but once you do, it's like, holy mother of God. If you think Lady Dimitrescu looks intimidating on a regular screen, wait till you see that giant bitch coming after you in VR, man. I'm telling you.
Oh
Actually,
god.
so it's-
So yeah.
I like a
So the
yeah.
next game actually.
Hey. We're not gonna glance over that. I said I like them thick like that. Just wanted to throw that out.
Okay.
Well,
He's really proud of the comment that he just made. Like, let him have his fun.
if I get to see Ada in VR, that might actually make me want to pick up a VR headset.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's like really.
Yeah, fly
It's
swatter.
like, okay, in VR, is there actually something underneath her skirt now? Wow.
Just a fly swatter thing. I'm cool with that.
Okay, so the next game in the Nufa Nukem showcase actually did pique my interest in VR because I've always thought about what would a zombie experience look like in VR. And Noof, it looks like we're getting that in Arizona Sunshine 2 VR, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That looked amazing as well, and that looked hilarious to boot. Right? It's definitely. I never played the original. Can't lie, but it was one of those games always on my radar, and I just never got around to picking it up. But this one definitely looks like now I really need to play this game. And that whole, where your dude takes his head and chatters his jaw and shit. Like, I love that stuff. I love these
Right?
campy zombie kind of games too. You don't want just all the scary shit, but the stuff that you can just have mindless fun shooting and maiming, and again, the immersion in VR is second to none. So, definitely another highlight of the show for me for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got me thinking about, I don't even have a PS5 yet. I'm still rocking with my PS4 Pro, so damn, that'd be $1,000 for me to get into PSVR. Fuck. Oh. Okay, next game, Crossfire Sierra Squad, which
Anger.
I actually called that out too. I was like, "Is Crossfire?" It is sure enough was.
Yeah, as soon as
Whoa.
Smallgate came out, there was a collective sigh within the group.
It was.
okay, this is the new hour. He will call upon you if he needs you to talk about a VR game with him. Okay. Sir, Crossfire Sierra Squad. To me, so we all played Crossfire. The Crossfire. To me, it kind of struck me as a Crossfire met Counter-Strike in VR. Did you feel the same? What'd you think?
That's another game that I was really impressed with, and I was happy to see. But that's the funny thing, right? Because as soon as I kind of saw the video start, I was like, oh, maybe this is the coverage of Firewall. And I was like, where's Firewall? Firewall is one of the big VR games coming out from a Sony internal studio. and it's supposed to be coming out at some point in time soon, but I haven't seen like diddly squat about it. So I'm really excited for Firewall because I thought the first game was really well done, more of a tactical based shooter, and I want to see what that one is. But yeah, this Crossfire game actually looked pretty cool, and hopefully they have a demo or something so I can jump in and try it out.
Yeah,
Always
so
like
did
a
Crossfire
demo.
X, remember when they showed that, so I wouldn't be expecting big things, brother.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was
No,
about
but
to say
sometimes you
that.
know what, a different
Look
atmosphere,
better
a
than the
different
regular
build.
game.
Yeah, don't get the
Yeah.
graphics were better, and you know, sometimes a different build in a different environment sometimes works for certain games. You know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes second time around is a charm as long as you figure out your mistakes from the first. Like Crossfire X, if you think about it, it had certain things that you could tell there was a game there. Like that's the sad part. Like there was
Yeah,
things
just a
about the
really bad
game,
one.
but it's like it's just like how in this day and age do you build a game that potentially looks pretty good? Like Crossfire X, I didn't think looked too bad, but how do you make it feel so old school, like a shooter that's been like it felt so dated out of the box. I mean, some of those maps were
Yeah.
bad, and the respawns. It's like
Yeah.
this is stuff we had expected back like on the early 360, not like in today's day and
Right.
age. You know?
Agreed.
That PvP map with in the
What
shipping
the
yard
crates in
was
the middle?
basically one point to another. That was about the
Yeah.
worst map design that I've ever
Sniper
seen.
in the back, constantly hitting you on the respawn. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, yeah, it was terrible. The single player was better than the PvP. In all fairness, you could actually play it. It wasn't too bad. But if you want to know how to do a good retro shooter to bring kind of that old feeling of Call of Duty back, then I think X Defiant has really done very well with that. Yeah, look, I have no faith in Smilegate. They lost me when they released Crossfire. I can't see anything but this game being a complete disaster.
Wow. That's
Mm.
wow.
So-
Okay,
That's what you really feel.
so the next game also piqued my interest, made me wish I had a VR headset. Synapsis VR. And we got a release date too. June 4th, 2023. Yeah. Noof.
One of the rare release dates we got.
Yeah, right? But still, I mean, it's something. It's something.
Yeah, I guess.
What did you say for what?
Synapsis VR.
That didn't really.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
No.
maybe the next VR game really tickled your pickle. We
We
got,
got Beat Saber. That's cool.
Beat Saber. It was a Queen music pack. If you ever wanted to be Freddie Mercury with two lightsabers in a dark room, this game is for you.
That is randomly specific, but yeah.
Right? I thought it was good.
I thought it was dope though. Yeah, I thought it was dope. I love Queen, period. But you know, I like the Beat Sabers too. That is one VR game I do look like. It does look like I would want to play.
Yeah, this is when you need Umber on the show to start singing, man, because Queen are amazing. And anything you add to
Sure
the Queen name, only
Sure
makes it
enough.
better. Yeah, I mean, who wants to live forever? But yeah.
Yeah.
Queen. I heard this $15 for this DLC. I think that's a little bit expensive, but hey, it's Queen.
Okay,
it's
so-
Freddie Mercury. Let's go.
So,
Shredded.
I'm not familiar with the PSVR scene. Was Beat Saber already there, and this is just a song pack?
Yeah, it's been out for a while. Beat Saber's been out for a
Well, yeah,
minute.
I've played Beat Saber, but was it always in PSVR?
No, so Beat Saber launches on PSVR today, I believe, with the Queen music pack. So
But
I
is that
think
the
it
first?
just
Is
launched.
this the first time?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes, and they
Okay.
launched together. Yeah.
So I've played
Yeah, I
it
swore
on my
PSVR.
I've
first
played
one,
it
but
on
maybe
my
I'm thinking of
Oculus, but
Yeah,
I didn't
maybe
know
I'm
it
thinking
was
of
in my.
Oculus.
Yeah, I didn't know it was already in PSVR.
That
So
was a surprise drop. It was a great game, and they must have pulled some strings to get that over on PlayStation. I think there was some kind of cross promotion. Somebody was saying a while back. I think PlayStation gave them up something from their lineup. I think to go over. I don't know what. I think it was Iron Man VR back in the because that was financed by wasn't that financed by PlayStation or something? The Iron Man one.
Yeah, yes.
And I
Mhm.
think they allowed that to cross over to Oculus, and I'm guessing that's the thing here is they kind of hey, you give me this, we give you that. That's a good get. It's a good pickup because I mean, honestly, you know what? It's a simple game, but it serves the purpose well, and it's one of the most fun and addictive VR games you can play. I mean,
I will
it's
tell you this.
it's crazy.
I've got a Peloton here in the master bedroom, and playing Beat Saber on my Oculus is more of a workout than 45 minutes on a fucking Peloton is. It will. But you know what? I mean, it doesn't really hit you until you take the headset off. You take the headset off and you're like, oh my God, I'm wore out. And you look, and you don't realize through all the menus and the songs that you've just been through, you've just been playing this VR for a half an hour and you're wore out. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, I liked it. That concludes the Noof Nukem VR hour. Yes. The very next game, I don't know. So, the old folks here on the panel, which is pretty much every one of us except for Fabio and JediKnightPeter.
Hey, no, just kidding.
Well, it's too, but
So the next game, Marathon. If a little bit of backstory, when Bungie was first developing what turned into Halo Combat Evolved, that game that they were developing was called Marathon. And this is Bungie going back to, I mean, I can honestly tell you that what I saw during the Marathon footage in the show did not resemble anything like the what Halo
Like a
was
marathon.
before it became Halo. Fabio, you were going to say something?
It doesn't resemble anything like a marathon.
No, it does not. But I got to hand it to Sony. They have acquired Bungie. And they acquired Bungie before Marathon was even rumored. And Marathon is going to hit both consoles. So, and well, that's also that I have to give Bungie more credit than I give Sony, because Bungie did put that in the deal that they would still be able to develop and publish for any system that they wanted to. So they would not be restrained underneath the exclusivity of their parent company. It looks like we're going to get Marathon, and I'm psyched to see what this original concept that Bungie that turned into Halo Combat Evolved when Xbox kind of directed them in this direction instead of this direction, and now they're discovering I'm excited to see what this is going to be, because Bungie and new IPs, like I loved the first Destiny. Destiny 2 rubbed me wrong when Cade 6 died. Now they're bringing him back, which I guess Cade 36 will be the reinvention of 6, or Cade 26, or whatever he's going to be.
It was Cade 69, but
oh, really? So he's 69. That's a family friendly number. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, so in regards to Marathon, I don't know if you guys know, but Bungie are up to their old tricks. There was an augmented reality puzzle that you needed to solve within the actual trailer. Somebody has solved it already. There's a 6.5 minute video doc that goes into a little bit more of the game. So that's really good, because I don't think they showed anywhere near enough about the game. One thing that I was disappointed about is I think this is strictly PvP. I think one of the great things about Destiny is its PvE functionality, even though the single player story didn't live up to my expectations. The PvP was always great fun, so that was a little bit disappointing, but I don't think we know enough about Marathon. We do know it's a Bungie game, so that means the shooting is going to be second to none.
Oh yeah, definitely. And speaking of Bungie, the next thing shown was Destiny 2, the final shape. Could this be the last expansion for Bungie, or for Destiny 2? And then
which Mayhem was up for that one.
say again.
I wish Mayhem was in here to answer that one. That's right up his alley.
I know, right? I know he's doing what he has to do, but fuck his work. Okay.
Look, I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought that we would have seen a Destiny 3 trailer before we get. I think Destiny 2 is going to live for a long time, and people have been
Thanks, so,
prophesizing the death of Destiny 2 for a long time, and it is still going, and it still
is.
has a very dedicated player base. So I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, not only that, but if you look at Destiny 2 the same way you look at Elder Scrolls Online. How much is there to do in Elder Scrolls Online? And these people that are dedicated to these games, to these live service games, they are by word of mouth recruiting extra people who don't have any experience in these games to begin with. And so they're starting out at the beginning, and I got to be honest with you, when I first started Destiny 2, I was hooked until Cade 6 died. It pissed me off. But if you don't have a serious backstory, knowledge of the backstory, and hadn't fallen in love with the Cade 6, then it wouldn't have affected you. So these people are essentially doing the advertising for Bungie, the ones that are dedicated, and they're bringing in new players, and these players are starting all over. And if you start all over on a game that's got all these expansions, you've pretty much, they've gotten these people lassoed in to at least 2 or 3 games with 2 or 3 years within this game. Say again?
What do you mean by these people?
Exactly. That's just, yeah. That's just saying, yeah. So, after Destiny 2, the final shape, we saw Concord.
Starfield. Oh, shit, sorry. My bad.
Yeah. Yep. That was the first thing he said, and I was like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
I kept seeing those stripes, and I was like, what is that from? I said, it's driving me crazy. I can't figure it out. And the first thing Pete said was Starfield, and I was like, yeah.
So
I don't know anything about this game, but it's a PvP game, so not like Starfield, but...
I thought Palpatine was bringing up a topic in the chat. KY Bob, I know it's not gaming related, but have you tried the Domino's tater tots yet? They're good. Old Bobby likes to eat. Don't tempt me. Okay, last thing, we knew it was coming. Even Jim Ryan made an appearance again to announce the last game and basically come out and sing Kumbaya and tell you how they're here for the gamers.
Bobby, you're not really gonna go over the best part of the show, bro. You just skipped it, man.
What's that?
Trailer for Gran Turismo, bro.
Nope.
How could you, Bobby? How could you, bro?
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Forza is king. Forza is king. Forza is king. Forza is king.
Bobby. You can't tell me the part where he's playing with the controller in his hand, and then all of a sudden, like a make-believe car lines up where he's sitting. That was exciting.
Nope.
And then he was driving one. He was driving one in real life.
Nope.
And I can't believe he did the trailer like that, Bobby. Damn, bro.
I'm sorry. Listen. I will play
You
Days.
did do the trailer,
No,
Dirk.
listen. I'll play Days Gone. I'll play Ghost of Tsushima. I will play God of War. I will play Spider-Man. I enjoy these games. I like these games. I'm sorry, but Gran Turismo to me, after Forza, is shite.
Yeah.
It's a movie trailer. I mean, it was the perfect place for a movie trailer as well, if you ask me.
The premise is stupid, though. It's one of the stupidest premises ever. Like, hey, I need a driver. Let's get somebody offline. Give me a break.
What were PlayStation thinking, man? I mean, a TV moment, if ever I've seen one. I don't understand what they were doing.
Right.
So I do have to hand it to them.
Killing that.
I do have to hand it to them because we all said that the new Spider-Man would the turnaround was so quickly because they were just reusing maps. But a lot of what they showed for Spider-Man 2, I didn't see in Spider-Man 1. like all the suburbs and the bridge
Right.
play, and yeah, I mean, I was kind of impressed. I was like, damn, Insomniac really, them guys are, those are some buff bras over there. They pulled this out.
Again,
Yeah.
Umbra ruined it by saying and catching something we didn't catch, and he was like, "Why does the textures look bad on the ground?" And I was like, "Oh man, he was right. The players, the NPCs, they look pretty good, but the textures sometimes would load, and some of it just didn't look good. And he was right until he pointed it out, and then he said he thinks it's cross gen, and Pete said, "No, I don't think so." I was with Pete too, because there are instances the game looked really, really good, but there were times it looked really average, and I was like, I don't know. Umber might have a point on that one.
I mean,
Yeah, I did.
my
Did
Yeah.
you
main
hear
problem
that,
with that
Umbra?
is,
He just gave you credit on air. Just saying.
I mean, my main
Yeah,
I got to
problem.
give it to both you guys, man. You both picked up that it was Craven pretty quickly as
oh
well.
yeah, I did pick that real fast. Yeah, yeah. I was like, it's
I mean
crazy.
casual. Sorry, it's not Craven casual.
Oh, shit, Umbra said in the chat, I'm so perceptive.
I mean, my main problem with the gameplay from Spider-Man is the fact that if you guys notice that for some reason, when they are fighting, the enemies are standing still.
Yeah, at times, yeah, the enemies are standing still while you're handling one guy.
Here's
But
the thing.
Okay,
once
Here's a disclaimer. Here's a disclaimer. This is not the final product. I'm sure Insomniac is going to be taking all of this feedback from both w- Xbox players who are criticizing and both PlayStation players who are concerned about those issues, and it's going to be a much better product in terms of graphics, in terms of AI, and all that kind of stuff. But like, isn't brain dead AI a serious problem nowadays after Redfall?
Me.
I didn't personally see that. I think that the gameplay looked outstanding. But I did want to ask you, so there's been a lot of pushback today. There was no release date shown. Do you think that this could be pushed back into next year because
I've
of the
said it a
textures
bunch of
and
times.
the other
Yep.
issues?
I've said a
Yes,
bunch of times it could. Yep.
I can see
I
that
wouldn't be surprised.
I can see that
That would
happening.
be a
And
massive failure.
It would
no,
be.
I wouldn't say like a massive failure because
You get to
when
miss
it
the holiday season.
no, because when it comes to like what is best, what is better, to deliver a good and finished game
Well, it's
that
not
is
about that though.
ready.
It's about the fact that you missed an opportunity though.
Well,
That's what we mean. I agree with you.
first,
Because if the
after
game needs
Red
to be pushed back, you push it back. But at the
after
same
Red,
time, you missed an opportunity for the holiday season.
much better than getting the backlash for getting the
Oh
opportunity.
no,
You know what I
I agree too. It's just his question really is like, what's the chance of it getting pushed back? And it's 50-50 for me.
Okay.
I wouldn't be
And
surprised at all.
that is a big chance, bro.
All right.
50-50.
Yeah.
So
And that would be a massive failure. And I get
it
that
would. It
PlayStation are
would be a big
living off the
L.
back of Insomniac, and I get
Yeah.
that Insomniac are one of those teams that just know how to push out content. But this is all Sony's got. They need something to push console sales at the end of this year and put under your Christmas tree. And we know that Xbox is most likely going to have both Starfield and Forza Motorsport to go to. So I don't know. It's something to think about.
But that's the difference, though. Spider-Man is the kind of game that is almost a guaranteed system seller. We don't know that
Agreed.
Starfield is going to push. Like a lot of it depends on how this game is received. One, it has to come out very polished, and two, it has to come out with hype. And a lot of the hype is going to be driven behind getting a really good Metascore, which again we
Right.
don't know. Like this is a new IP. This is like something that the average kid off the street walks in and goes, "Oh, look, Starfield." That's only us guys getting excited. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
some
Yeah,
kid who
that's
doesn't
true.
even know what PlayStation's all about is going to walk in and see the Spider-Man billboards and go, "Holy shit, Mom! I want a PlayStation." And again, I've said it before, say it again. Xbox doesn't even seem like they're even that focused on even selling a console anymore. It's like, and when they are, it's always a Series S, Series S. I see all these Game Pass promotions now. It's all about Series S. It's like, is the Series X your long lost ugly stepbrother or something? Like, what the fuck is what's up with that? When you promote them, you should promote both of them in your commercials, not just, oh, it goes well with Series S. Like, I would be promoting the hell out of X because that's your flagship console. But
Right.
yeah, I get it. The people that are on a budget or don't really care about performance as much, sure, they're going to gravitate to the S all day, every day. But that's all I'm saying, man. I was like, Spider-Man is guaranteed going to move consoles, just like right now. This Legend of Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom, is probably out there moving a shit ton of Switches again. And I bet you for the next couple of months, Switch is probably going to be the number one selling console again. So
As it
Xbox
should
needs
be.
that. Forza is
Yeah.
not going to do that either. Forza will move just fine for us guys like us who are going to buy it day one or play it in Game Pass day one, however you want to consume it. We will move that needle for them. But we're a small demographic compared to, again, a Legend of Zelda or that game. So we thought that was going to be Halo. Unfortunately, because of a lot of the messes and the botch marketing and stuff, Halo turned out to be an opposite anomaly than we had ever hoped for. And I'm pretty sure even Microsoft hoped for. And the landscape has also changed as well. I mean, compared to when Halo was king, look, Call of Duty is undoubtedly, whether you love it or hate it, Call of Duty is king of the roost. It has been and will be for a long time to come. It's just an and this again. That's why it's so huge for both Sony and for Microsoft to have those marketing rights on the Call of Duty because it that moves the needle, whether you like it or not.
And this is what I think Bushido's been talking about for a long time. We need some type of competition to Spider-Man, and I don't understand why they don't go to
Yeah.
DC and they get some of these prominent IPs that are just sitting there dormant.
Man.
Okay, so I get you that Gotham Knights didn't do what it could, but wow, getting a Judge Dredd game or a Blade game to
No.
go and coincide with the movie that I know is having a little bit of trouble, or something to get these
Yeah, be
casuals to look
honest.
at Xbox in a different way. I know you've been
Yeah.
talking
I'm
about it
telling you,
extensively, Bushido.
if
Yeah.
Microsoft doesn't get this, it doesn't get the Activision Blizzard thing to go through. I'm telling you, they go all in and they get Warner Brothers and they get the IPs,
I'm
and
still
you
not
make it.
trying to get them even now. I don't know why. I guess maybe just hope. But for some reason, when the negotiations were going on and everybody was inquiring about it, and then all of a sudden they were like, "It's not for sale."
Yeah.
And then rumor came out that somebody had really made a bid for it, and they didn't know who it was. And I started to put pieces. Now, listen, it could be just me wanting it to be the case, but I started putting pieces together because I was like, "Is this something that is quote unquote agreed on?" Until after they did the ABK thing, because the ABK thing was already ahead of that. So
Right.
if the ABK thing was ahead of that, you probably wouldn't finish the negotiations with that until it's over. Or, like I said, you
Ooh,
already
you
agreed on
think
the
the
numbers.
ABK deal was before it?
Yes, I think the ABK deal was before it. And so I think the ABK deal is holding up them doing anything with the Warner Brothers deal until it's over.
Potentially.
That's my
I think
theory.
the main sticking point with the Warner Brothers deal is Warner Brothers did not want to sell the IPs
No,
along
they
with
wanted to
the actual
license them.
development.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Right.
that I
Yeah.
think is the sticking point that Microsoft just couldn't get over. And look, I agree with that decision. If you don't get the IPs with Warner Brothers, they are not worth, they're just not
No,
I
worth
don't
it.
exactly,
know,
exactly.
man. Them
But then,
studios are
but
pretty
then
good,
again, with the
man.
way that Crystal Dynamics and Rocksteady have been going lately with their games, I don't really know anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either. Rock.
Whatever magic they had going, they seem to have pissed it away. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
Rocksteady was forced into making that game, so I can't necessarily blame them because it's not
Suicide
not what
Squad.
they necessarily wanted to make. Yeah, I don't think that's what they wanted to make, and it looked evident in the gameplay. Like it's just so uninspired. But at the same time, I don't know. I think if you give it another shot with something else, I can't see
Yeah.
how you could lose your glory or your. Hey, listen, they were
Right.
goaded from the Arkham series.
Yeah.
I can't see how you could lose it because of this game. I mean, everybody drops one clunker in, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
give them a mulligan for this one. Like I said, because it was forced on
Right.
them. But I think those studios are very very good. NetherRealm. What's the one who created the did the Lord of the Rings game?
Yeah, the
Um,
Mordor game. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Shadow of Mordor. Yeah, they are a
right.
great developer as well.
They they
Yep.
they have some good studios, man. So even if I didn't get them, to be able to at least license them, I would be willing to because of the fact that I get Rocksteady and NetherRealm. Those two right there are just solid studios right there. And who
Yeah,
knows,
I don't
Zelda
think
might be able
that's
to work
how
on your
Microsoft.
Killer Instinct.
I don't think that's how Microsoft does business, and I think that was the main
Yeah, I
sticking
agree.
point. The developers,
Yeah, I
Monolith
agree.
Productions, as well, and yeah, you're right, they are an amazing studio, and I will give Suicide Squad a free pass because I think Warner Brothers were chasing the games as a service trend.
Yeah,
I think
Okay.
yeah.
Rocksteady can come back to what they used to be, and I know Gotham Knights has got trashed, but I just got it recently for $36, and I'm enjoying the game. It is very very fun,
A lot
and
of
it
people
tells
like
a
it.
great
Yeah.
story.
Well,
Mm.
it's had a lot of improvements and patches over the last several months, so it's gotten a lot
It
better.
truly is supposed to play it, so I'll see eventually.
So the last topic that I want to get into, because we've been live for 2 hours now, which, hey, I'm loving every second of this. This is our 50th episode celebration, and that's
Woo.
right. So we've seen the showcase, and in your eyes, this is directed at the panel. I have my own guesses as to what I think I'm going to see at the Xbox show on June 11th. But what, in your opinion, do they need to show on June 11th to eclipse fully this showcase of 34 games from Sony?
Well,
Sarah Bond in a short
40,
skirt, and that's about it.
Hellblade and Fable.
45 games.
35
For a game
Son of
real
a
fast.
bitch. Oh,
Not much, Bobby. Honestly, bro. Like, really, not much. And I think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get Fable. I think we're gonna get Hellblade. I think we're gonna get
Yeah.
Avowed. And Forza Motorsport 7. And or 8. I'm not sure what number they're up to. And I think that'll be more than enough. And then if we get some, something from id, or something from Indiana Jones, Quake,
Bad
something
punch.
along those lines. It'll just elevate it to a level. We see a little bit more of Contraband, maybe a little bit of State of Decay 3. And don't forget that third parties show a lot differently on the Xbox Showcase because a lot of them come straight into Game Pass, and that just elevates that game because you're going to be playing it for free.
all right. Whew. Let's see. Fabio Amorim, sir.
Oh,
What do you think? What do they need to do to really go beyond the haters and the negative sayers to really say no? I mean, you got to admit this was a better showcase.
mhm.
Marie.
So basically, in my opinion, our main focus needs to be to address the main issue that we are having. And no, it's not the lack of third person over the shoulder cinematic games. That's not the issue. The issue is announcing a bunch of brand new games, a bunch of brand new IPs from their first party studios, and not tell us anything else. Like, we just saw some trailers, some teasers, and we haven't seen anything from them so far. So, what I think they need to do is no, it's not to fill the entire showcase with 100% of first party games. No, that's never happened before. It's not going to happen nowadays with any company. That's a fact. But they need to at least give us a release date, or at least the year of some of those games. What is going on with Everwild? What is going on with Contraband? Is Hellblade 2 coming out this year or next year? Like, when when is Fable showing up, or how much progress have you guys made with Avowed? Or, like, I think this is the thing they need to do. You can announce new IPs, that would be nice as well, or the return of anything, of any old but beloved IPs. Yes, I'm talking about Banjo Kazooie, of course, but I think that above all else, show us what you are working on, show us the progress on what you have already announced, and then we will be set.
All right. Wow.
I agree.
You good answer. You wrote that down, didn't you? Jedi Knight Peter, sir. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I don't think they need to do much. I don't know if you guys heard me, but also all they really need to do to beat the PlayStation Showcase is Sarah Bond needs to come out in a rocking outfit, and that will beat it. Because really, it won't take much, man. But I'm expecting
gosh.
great things. I'm expecting great things from the showcase. There's been a lot of chatter today about them fumbling the ball. I don't think they're going to do that. Phil Spencer was pissed off the last time we saw him. I hate seeing Phil like that. I think they're going to come hard. Fable, Avowed, Perfect Dark, uh, Forza Motorsport, and then, maybe one other game like Quake or Indiana Jones, Contraband, Everwild, something
Yes.
like that, and
Yes.
it will be far and away a great show. And I do agree with that with you, Fabio. Like, I want to get strict release dates. Now, it doesn't need to be for games next year, but I want to get a release date for Forza Motorsport. We were meant to have had that already. Maybe have we even got a release date? Yeah, we've got one for Starfield. Okay, and maybe one more, and that'll be enough, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm next on the panel, and so this is what I think. I think we're going to get a new Splinter Cell game announcement. I think Xbox has secured the marketing rights from Ubisoft. I think we're going to get a new Splinter Cell. I think we're going to get more details, maybe even some UE5 gameplay from State of Decay 3. I believe we're going to get an update, possibly more of an idea of what kind of game Machine Games is turning their Indiana Jones IP into. I think we're going to get a teaser on the next Ori. I believe we're going to see some Fable gameplay.
But wait a minute. Was your question about what we think is needed to be the PlayStation Showcase,
Yes.
or what we speculate for it to?
Yes, this is what I think we're going to get, and this has already beaten their showcase. If you get Sam Fisher, new and in the flesh, and you get State of Decay 3, UE5 gameplay, Indiana Jones IP from Machine Games, Fable gameplay from Playground, you're going to see an Age of Empires 3 console announcement, the third one. You're going to get an update on AoE 4. We're going to get a teaser of an exclusive game from WB. It could be Superman. I don't know, but they need to put their hat in that superhero ring, and as close as they were with WB, you can't tell me that they didn't strike some sort of deal on an IP that hasn't been touched in years, and that would be Superman.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's a game to me.
It'll make a bad game.
I mean, he is Kryptonite's a bitch. But that's what I got.
I mean, you can start.
I don't understand why everybody constantly thinks a great Superman game can't exist. I mean, obviously, how many comic books have they written with Superman?
Yeah, I think it could.
So
Yeah,
if you got a good storyteller, it's gonna work. I know, yes, he's an OP kind of guy, but there's got to be alien creatures, obviously Kryptonite, to come into play. You can have multiple battles. Maybe
Doomsday killed his ass. I mean, come on.
Luther and different. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a good script person and you put good mechanics behind it, like you can borrow like a mechanic that came out of friggin' Anthem, for example, because that's felt super satisfying, and you can get that to translate to Superman, and you got spectacular vistas, and he feels powerful. Like maybe even like I said, like a lot of these superhero games too is like they stick you right into the superhero like at your full power. Like what if it started with a Superman game where you started out as a young Clark Kent and you started to
I
discover
was
powers
just about to
and the
say that.
levels were based around discovering your powers and watching you get powerful over time. So like in the first
Yeah,
level, for example, maybe he tries to lift this giant boulder or something and he can't really do it. But as you level up down the road and you get bigger, like all those things that you struggled with before, you can now do it no problem. You know what I mean? I think something like that
I,
would be really cool and then grow into a really cool game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't think Superman will translate well into a game at all, and I really think they should stay away from that IP because it has so much love to people, and I just think that that
Mm.
is a dangerous thing. I can see
that one.
Wonder
Yeah,
Woman happening
absolutely.
because Wonder Woman has a sword and a shield and her lasso and her braces, and I think you can implement some great things with gameplay with her. Plus,
Right.
Xbox are craving for a female protagonist, but Superman, I would just stay far away from.
Okay, Mr. Bushido, sir. What on June 11th? What do we need to see to eclipse this showcase we saw yesterday?
Real quick though, I want to say I am with Pete and I am with Noof. I think that it can be done, but in all honesty, I don't want to be the one to try to do it though. I think that's a tall task, but I think if you do a good job of writing, and I was thinking the same thing. If you starting out when he's young, I think you could do it. But I ain't trying it. But okay, I would like to see um three things, and I'll be satisfied. If I can see these three things, I'm gonna be golden. And everything else on top of that is just gonna just add more to it. But I just want to see what Compulsion and A Exiles working on. I want to see. I want to see some um, gameplay
State of
or
Decay 3.
some advancement with
State of Decay 3.
Hellblade 2.
Um,
Oh, listen. Oh, listen. You know me and you. If you show me anything with State of Decay 3, that might be the show for me, period. I love
right.
freaking DK.
Well,
Like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna just lose it.
I
that would be
forgot
great.
about In Exile's game. I would love to see
Yes.
that as well. And In
Yeah,
Exile
what's
put
they're
out a
working on,
tweet
yeah.
yesterday. They changed their business logo or something like that. They've been
Yeah,
teasing us about their next game forever. It's time to
yeah.
see something.
mhm.
Yes, they do a real good job of trolling, and I want to see what Compulsion's working on. I'm interested to see what their concept is. I don't have to see gameplay because I know the game's not ready yet, but I would like to see conceptual gameplay. Some CGI to help me understand what this concept is. And then later on when the game next year, I want to see gameplay, but I want to know what they're working on, and I don't know it. I mean, I barely know. I'll say it that way. We barely know what they're working on. We know what the theme is, but I want to see it.
Yeah. Okay. Noof Nukem, sir.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to see? What would make you go, wow, man?
First of all, yeah. Look, man. I'll put it this way. I've learned my lesson from the past few Xbox shows where I don't think Xbox hasn't had like a bad show in the last while. To be honest, I say they've been pretty
No, they haven't.
consistent, right? They have
Yeah,
come out,
last 3 years.
they've
Yeah,
been solid, and they're doing some things right. Even with some of their smaller shows, they're starting, like I said, less developer talk, better pacing. And it's certainly had variety. They certainly have had lots of games. I guess what they're missing now is much what Sony kind of failed to deliver yesterday was more stuff from the internal studios. We know third parties going to take care of themselves, but a lot of us we don't necessarily go out and buy these consoles or get invested because of the third party stuff. We get invested because of what Sony and Microsoft or Nintendo bring to the table. And I think it's long overdue now with Fable. We know it exists. Like now is start the time to show it. I mean, we're 3 years in. Bill is very aware that fans are losing patience. We're all sort of getting a little bit annoyed, and that's not just the odd person complaining. This is a collective across the board. You've heard it from media, you've heard it from Xbox guys, of course, the PlayStation guys are like, where are you at? And it's fun. I'm not saying like they haven't made games or they haven't delivered some games. Yes, they have. I mean, but we, again, it comes down to you can have 20 games that you're kind of like mid on the radar, or you can have 3 or 4 games that are high on the radar. And this is the thing, we're talking about these heavy hitters, these games that are going to sell, these system selling kind of games. That doesn't mean they're all over the shoulder third person action adventure games, but I think it is time now. You see what people get excited for. You see what they jump out of their seats for at these shows. And it's time to show something like Fable. It's time to finally bring Hellblade to the forefront. It's time to finally show fans why they have stayed with Xbox or invested in a $600, $500 console, whatever it costs in your neck of the woods. This is what they need to do. Is they need to say, look, guys, we've nailed down so many things. Now it is time to deliver the games. Enough with the controllers, enough with everything else. Get the games out there. Make people feel comfortable knowing that their investment looks really good, not just now, but like, 2 years down the road or something. You don't have to go too far down, because you don't want to get into that scenario again either, where you're showing something that's so far out that, we sit there waiting, and then, it gets delayed, and you start another can of worms. But I think they know what they got to do. I mean, my God, all you got to do is bring on a handful of diehard Xbox fans, and they're pretty much going to tell you, this is what you need to do. Can you do it or not? Because obviously at the end of the day, we know that these kind of shows, they generally start working on these like the moment that the last one is over. They have to start preparing 6 and 7 months in advance, and we know that the market can shift a lot over time in the run of the fact that, okay, say in February we intend on showing this, but by the time June rolls around, well, maybe our demos or what we're planning to show isn't up to snuff. We all know how that works. We all know if you show off that demo too early and it looks a little bit broken, or it's an early build, and you know how quickly this shit gets criticized, right? Everybody will pick it to pieces, and then it's an uphill battle. So sometimes we get it. Sometimes it's better to show nothing at all than to show something that's sort of halfway cooked, and then you completely screw the pooch. But we know what they got to do. I'm totally happy if Fable and Hellblade are shown. That's two of the biggest ones that I'm really, really excited and waiting for. And hopefully they're either dropping at the end of this year or perhaps next year. But I want to see the roadmap, because I've said this before. The games that they're touting already this year, like the Redfalls and the Starfields, those are last year's games, believe it or not. They were supposed to release last year, right? So we're getting hyped in 2023 over games that were supposedly in 2021, 2022. So the timeline soon has to catch up. Somewhere along the lines, this development cycle needs to start sort of coming closer to the, the ship date, as opposed to, hey, well, here's another 6 months delay. We're a little bit tired of delays. I know they're industry standard. It's par for the course. But, I mean, somebody's got to be able to deliver. There's got to be more studios in this freaking world than Insomniac Games that can put out, a half decent game within every 2 or 3 years, right? Am I wrong on that? Somebody's got to have
well
something
said.
there. So that's what I want to see. No filler. Just bring the games and bring a couple of big ones. Don't drag the show down. Start it heavy, hit in the middle with something heavy, end it with something heavy. Don't get into that stupid lull where they take you out of the show either. Like, oh, well, they started with this game and now we're going to sit through another, 25 indie, nobody heard of these freaking games. And don't get me wrong, they deserve their place too. But there's a time and a place for everything, and it's about momentum. And right now for Xbox, it is not your time to kill momentum, because you've already kind of done it. So bring the heavy. Now is the time, and now has never been a better time, with Sony coming up with the first show in how many years, and they sort of missed the boat. Now it is your time to shovel dirt on the hole. Do you know what I mean? Get out there, Xbox. Show why you're spending the billions of dollars. Show your investment. We know the Game Pass stuff is going to be there. That's like, they're probably going to announce some big ass games going into Game Pass. That always seems to be the case, and that's cool too. Get people excited for the fantastic value proposition that is Game Pass. Heck, even old Noof Nukem has Game Pass. That tells you something. But we know what they got to do here, man. They got to go big or go home. Enough of the talk. Enough of the chitter chatter. Bring the heavy hitters. Bring these games that Matt Booty is so called. Well, yeah, I've seen the games. They're there. They're coming along. Well, please show us something, please. We need a little bit more than the Starfield at this point, and that's got to have a Dynamite showcase too. It's got to look like there's some polish on this thing, or if this comes out and it looks rough, boy, this shit's we're not gonna hear the end of it till fucking December. So, yeah, be prepared. That's all I can say.
Okay,
I
and
think the cadence will change from now on in, and I don't want to miss out on those third-party games because they elevated the showcase last time. I want to still see
Mm-hmm.
the Hollow Knights. I still want to see the High on Life, the Plague's Tales,
Yeah.
the Arc Twos, the Flintlock Siege of Dawns, because they elevate the show for me.
okay, I'm gonna kind of on a personal note. I do want to say that. So, unfortunately, it does look like E3 is dead. Okay,
Yeah.
but so we've already seen from Sony and their showcase that they are comfortable just kind of doing this Jim Ryan thing, and who I can't really tell you exactly where he was, but he was standing in front of a room and a camera. That was not the stage that Sony has been known to show the showcases on in the past. And what I'm saying about Xbox is you own that freaking theater. It is called the Microsoft Theater right across the street from where E3 happens. Please I want a stage. You don't even have to put it. I don't even. The camera doesn't even have to look at the seats. Give me a stage show. Give me that nostalgia. Give me that what looks like we may not get again. Keep that part pure. I want to see a stage show, Microsoft Theater, and just, present it the way you normally would as if you were doing it in front of a huge group of fans. That's what I want.
There has to be a group of fans there, but like the your breathtaking moment in the showcase was one of the most special moments in a showcase that you're gonna get. So without the crowd, it doesn't work.
Mm.
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, how are
That's
you
true.
going to get a crowd if you don't have an E3 crowd across the street waiting to get in?
But you're right, the Microsoft Theater does actually sort of solve that problem, but you just have to fill it. There'll be hundreds of thousands of people that would be wanting to go to this show. You just have to get them there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But hey, we're only 2.5 weeks out from this show, so we will see. But
I'll
yeah.
wait, man.
Anyway, outros. Fabio Amorim, sir.
Yo.
Where can people find you? And thank you for being here for most of the 50 episodes. I know I brought you on shortly after the start, and you've really come through. You've been there, brother. Love you to death.
Just want to point out that I'm still waiting for my check, but that I haven't. But yeah, no, just kidding. Always a pleasure, but always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's been quite nice, and huge congratulations to you. Happy 50 episodes, my man.
Thank you.
And yeah, you can find me. You can find me on Twitter as FBOAmorin97. You can find me on Xbox as Lizard8. You can find me here on the Game Set Live podcast, and you can find me on the XPN YouTube channel where I am editing some videos here and there. I take a long time to edit those because yeah, real life takes a lot of time of me, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to be way more participative as a guest in some shows, as a host in other stuff, and delivering the videos that I have to deliver because Jesus fucking Christ, it's been way overdue.
Yeah. There you go, brother. JediKnightPeter, sir, always there when I've needed you in the past with like 5-10 minutes heads up, and you always come through. Older broadcast platforms that we've been on, you've kind of showed up as green streaky lines across the black circle or a little black
Matrix took
square.
over, bro.
Yeah. But we're not there anymore. We're broadcasting from Discord and OBS, and everything's great, sir. I really just want to let you know I appreciate you, and thanks for being here to celebrate the 50th episode. And where can people find you?
Thank you for having me, man, and congratulations to all you guys on 50 episodes. This is awesome, and I mean, bigger and better things for you guys going forward. I can't wait for the 100th. But you can find me on Xbox Infinite at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we've got a massive special guest tomorrow with Kaya Sante, so really looking forward to that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Trying
Mr.
to get Kate to come back on.
Mr. Bush, the professional N7 wearer of great Mass Effect things, sir. Uh,
Same,
been here
same
from
thing.
been here from the start, brother. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Same place, the KY Bobby Show every Thursday at 9. Also known as Game Set Live,
That's
where the consoles matter and not the games. Um, and
you said it
We don't care about
backwards.
the games.
you can see me on the Xbox and PlayStation, same thing, Twitter. Mr. Bushido and Seven.
Awesome, awesome, Mr. Anuf Nukem, sir. It's been great having you on, brother. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Well, it's an honor to be here, and it's I'm glad and honored to be a small part of the 50 episodes. I don't know my exact number on here, and things hasn't been always the smoothest ride. But Bob, I commend you, and I commend the entire crew. From the original people to the crew that you have now. We do this for fun, and it is a tough grind. It's hard to build an audience. Sometimes it can take years. Sometimes you can hit it lucky. A lot of that depends on the community and there's a whole bunch of factors. But at the end of the day, as long as we're all having fun and we got a good crew here, I jive really well with the current crew that we have, and love you guys for it, and look forward to many more episodes to come. So congratulations on the big 50, and let's keep going. Let's keep gaming, people, and to the obviously the chat who stuck with you through thick and thin,
right
the new
on.
people that come out. You can't forget about them. Without them, this is almost pointless. So
Yeah,
huge shout out to them. Appreciate you coming out, no matter what the reason or who you come out for. The fact that you show up and support, it's huge. Obviously, Thimber deserves a massive amount of support since he's been
Yes.
uh, he's been the rock, man, right from the get go. But there's some
yeah,
other great guys here as well. So to everyone, you
definitely.
guys are amazing. So thanks for supporting KY Bob as well. So appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Uh, I just want to, and I want to give a shout out to the missing panelist, Assassin Lupa. Don't know how you're doing. I pray that you're doing well. You were original member from the very first episode, and I think we had you up to 15 or 16 before you had a bad draw of fate with the illness. And I hope you're doing well, and I hope one day I get to game with you again. And I hope that we can have you on our show again.
Yes.
Indeed. Shout out to Lupa, man. We miss her dearly. I've sent her
Huge
messages,
shout out
and
to
Oh yeah.
I've sent her shout outs on Twitter. Haven't heard a thing. It's disheartening. If her husband John's around and he ever catches wind of this, please, John, at least let us know where she's at and that stuff, because we definitely miss her. We miss her game nights, and we certainly miss her on podcasts. Her humor was second to none.
Yep.
She's just a fantastic human being, and we're honored to have people like Assassin Lupa. There's not enough of these Lupas in our community. Girls that want to get out there and put themselves in front of the audience and be a part of the conversation. So shout out to her. Yeah, big time.
Yes.
And a big shout out to the Power Man 4K, who has become Mayhem Games because, yeah, Mayhem.
We don't know.
I don't know, but I respect his decision. I've changed him here on the template so that he is displayed as Mayhem Games last week. Up until last week, he was still displayed as Power Man 4K, and he kind of was like, gave me a nod and said, Power Man 4K is dead. Mayhem Games lives on. He has also been here since the first episode and was part of the podcast that led up to this one with the XBAL Party Podcast channel.
Yep.
And big shout out to him. Big shout out to Fabio for joining. JediKnightPeter always being there. Mr. Bushido from the start, sir. Noof Nukem shortly after. It's been great. This is KY Bob. This is Game Set Live. What? Huh?
I appreciated you inviting me, to join the show.
Oh,
And
dude.
congrats.
Mr. Bush, the professional. I don't know what I'd do without you, bro.
I appreciate it.
You can find me on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Twitters as Mr. KY Bob, or I don't know. Maybe one day I may change it to KY Bobby. Mr. Bushido just may talk me into it. It's got a nice ring to it.
It does.
Thank you for being here for 50 episodes, and we're going for another 50 and another 50 after that, and yeah, I just enjoy doing this. We're not in it for the wrong reasons, and yeah, everybody game on. Have a good weekend, and yeah, be safe. Don't say Xbox got no games. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Xbox better.
Opened up.